Chapter 1102, Aren't Welcome. Chapter 1102, Aren't Welcome. In no time at all, Jian Wushuang, who was clad in a scarlet robe and carrying a long sword on his back, had appeared in front of the two men. So, it's Celestial Master Meng Long and Celestial Master Yi, he said, cupping his hands together toward them. An Eternal Realm expert. The black-clad Celestial Master Meng Long and Celestial Master Yi, the hunchbacked elder, looked strangely at Jian Wushuang. If I'm not mistaken, you must be Jian Wushuang who just joined the Green Fire Palace, right? Asked Celestial Master Yi. That's me, said Jian Wushuang, smiling slightly. Even though I've been wandering around this battlefield all these years, I've not returned back to the palace for a long time now. A good friend there mentioned you when he communicated to me, however. It said that you're the son of Nan. Celestial Master Yi asked, his tone slightly cold. Jian Wushuang was stunned for a while before nodding slightly. Humph, when your father was at the Green Fire Palace, he acted somewhat arrogantly. To think that you're even more unrestrained than he was. You're just but an Eternal Realm expert that got to possess the battle strength of a medium Celestial Master due to some extraordinary reasons. Even so, there are countless dangers in this battlefield that can kill you, yet you travel alone? Furthermore, you've even ventured so deeply into uncharted territory? Celestial Master Yi said in a low, deep voice. Celestial Master Meng Long, who was standing beside him, looked at Jian Wushuang with a frown as well. One had to understand that the two Celestial Masters had ventured into this part of the battlefield together even though they were amongst the strongest of the medium Celestial Masters, they were also of advanced age and had possessed many life-saving skills. Most of the medium Celestial Masters of the Green Fire Palace dared not venture into this uncharted part of the battlefield alone. Take Celestial Master Silver Moon for example, even though she traveled alone, she only wandered around known territory. It was supposed to be a low-risk zone, yet she met with danger and was killed by experts from the Jin Kingdom. So, for Jian Wushuang, to venture alone into uncharted territory, and go deep into the area to boot, was an act no different to courting his own death in the eyes of the two Celestial Masters. Jian Wushuang did not know how to react to Celestial Master Yi's questions, he felt they were both funny and annoying. Even so, he thought he should reply. I dare to venture alone into this uncharted area because I have support, you two kind sirs. Support? What support? You're way too arrogant, young man. You don't know how dangerous this battlefield can be. You'll regret once you encounter these dangers yourself, Celestial Master Yi said in a tone that sounded as if he was reprimanding Jian Wushuang. Fine, since he wants to court his own death, there's nothing we can say to change his mind, Celestial Master Meng Long spoke up as well in a cold tone. Jian Wushuang, if you don't have anything much, leave us. Also, let me remind you. You should quickly return back to the Green Fire Palace before you get into a really dangerous situation. Come back when you've become a Dao Master. Jian Wushuang smiled bitterly as he heard the Celestial Master's comments. Since that's the case, I shall take my leave. He immediately turned and left after speaking. The Celestial Masters did not pay much attention to Jian Wushuang, and they casually walked toward the hill made of purple gems after he left. After a short while, however. Roar! An angry roar accompanied by an alarming level of murderous aura rose up from the depths of the hill. Soon, two figures were also scampering out of the same spot. They were obviously Celestial Master Yi and Celestial Master Meng Long. Quickly run! Celestial Master Yi shouted. In an instant, both of them fled as fast as they could toward the void in front of them. Just as they dashed out from underneath the mountain, a weirdly shaped exotic beast made up entirely of purple gems emerged. Lightning crackled along its purple scales, and the killing intent it emanated engulfed the entire area. It immediately went after the two Celestial Masters with alarming speed. Jian Wushuang was traversing absent-mindedly in the void above the battlefield. How does it feel to be turned away, kid? Gu King teased. I had just wanted to exchange greetings. Who would have expected them to not welcome me? Jian Wushuang replied, a weird expression on his face. Because of your mother, I'm afraid only a few of the experts in the Green Fire Palace will choose not to ignore you. If you wish to earn their respect, you have to prove your strength to them. Let them believe in your potential. As for now, you haven't achieved that, said Gu King, laughing. I know that, replied Jian Wushuang with a bitter laugh. Suddenly. What's going on? Jian Wushuang took out his token again, and through it, he could clearly sense that Celestial Master Yi and Celestial Master Meng Long were coming in his direction with alarming speed. The distance between them kept diminishing. Such speed, this is an uncharted territory after all, and even I do not dare to travel too quickly. They don't seem to be traversing. Could it be that they're fleeing? Jian Wushuang thought. He stopped immediately and turned, rushing toward the two celestial masters. Soon, he saw what was happening. He could see the celestial masters fleeing for their lives, and a ferocious exotic beast covered entirely with purple scales was chasing after them. The exotic beast was giving off an extremely high amount of murderous aura, giving Jian Wushuang the chills. What's that? Jian Wushuang asked as he frowned. It's a beast puppet, replied Gu King. Beast puppet? Jian Wushuang asked, momentarily stunned. He had only heard of puppet fighters, not beast puppets before. They are puppets made by experts from the eternal chaotic world by directly refining exotic beasts. Even though they are puppets, they've retained their original consciousnesses. The beast puppet you see most likely even has the battle strength of an exceptional realm celestial master, Gu King explained. Is that so? No wonder the two celestial masters are fleeing, said Jian Wushuang as he finally knew what the beast exactly was. Celestial Master Yi and Celestial Master Meng Long could be considered as extremely strong amongst their peers, and they could have handled one or two ordinary advanced celestial masters. They would definitely not be fleeing in such a sorry fashion. They were, however, no match at all for this beast puppet, even if they joined forces. The beast puppet possesses amazing speed and should be catching up with them any time now, Jian Wushuang said, his face stern. In the next instant, the Blood Mountain sword had appeared in his hand, and his figure immediately dashed forward. Oh no, oh no. The faces of Celestial Master Yi and Celestial Master Meng Long were looking very terrible at the moment. The former was even covered with blood and his aura was weak. Evidently, he was seriously wounded and neither of them could have possibly survived if the beast puppet caught up with them. Just at this moment, they noticed that Jian Wushuang's figure was charging directly toward them from the void in front of them. Chapter 1103, Strike. Chapter 1103, Strike. Jian Wushuang. Not only is the kid not running away after seeing that we're being chased, instead, he's stupidly charging toward us. Is he looking to die? The celestial masters got even more angry after seeing Jian Wushuang dashing toward them. Kid, run quickly. Celestial Master Yi even shouted sternly at Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang did not heed his warning. He fixed his cold stare on the exotic beast. Swoosh. Jian Wushuang passed them by, appearing before the purple exotic beast. What's the kid doing? Does he really want to die? He's insane. The scene unfolding behind them shocked both celestial masters. Very quickly, they understood what Jian Wushuang was up to. His look grew more murderous as the power emanating from the Blood Mountain sword increased as well. He then slashed at the exotic beast with it. Heaven's bane. Jian Wushuang cried in a chilling tone. In an instant, he unleashed the full might of his power. The purple beast growled and swung a palm at Jian Wushuang casually. It wanted to smash the ant in front of it into pieces. Crash. A low crashing noise rang out and many sparks flew. A large amount of power began to disperse into the surroundings. Jian Wushuang's expression turned grim, and all of a sudden, his figure was swatted away and it crashed into a barren mountain at his side. The mountain split into two from the impact and huge amounts of loose rocks began raining down. The exotic beast, however, had stopped charging forward. Many scales had fallen off its palm that clashed with the Blood Mountain sword. Just like this, Jian Wushuang managed to stop the beast puppet's figure from moving forward. Boom! There was a loud booming sound as large amounts of loose rocks began flying out. Jian Wushuang re-emerged from the remains of the mountain. Unexpectedly, his aura was still strong and his complexion healthy. Evidently, the blow from the beast had not harmed him much. Celestial Master Yi and Celestial Master Meng Long, you two should leave first. Leave this fellow to me, Jian Wushuang said with a slight smile. The two Celestial Masters were a little dumbstruck now. They had personally experienced the terror of the purple beast, and Celestial Master Yi was seriously wounded by a blow from its palm. He had managed to survive because he used a protective treasure to absorb part of the impact from the blow. All in all, even if the exotic beast was not as strong as a real Celestial Master who had reached the exceptional realm, it was not too much weaker. How could Jian Wushuang had survived that blow and remained unscathed, they thought. They were shocked. Extremely shocked, to be exact. After recovering, they immediately reacted to his suggestion. Neither of them hesitated to accept his offer. Jian Wushuang, be careful yourself, said Celestial Master Yi. He then hurriedly left with Celestial Master Meng Long. Roar! The purple beast growled as it saw the two Celestial Masters leaving. The purple lightning surrounding its body began flowing, and its figure immediately gave chase. Jian Wushuang, however, had also begun to move. Stop, I say. He appeared phantom-like at its side, brandishing the Blood Mountain sword at the same time. In a flash, he had struck 4 times, all of them with amazing speed. They were directed straight at the beast's eyes. The beast had no choice but to shift its figure away from the attacks. At the same time, it struck at Jian Wushuang with the same palm, and this time, it was imbued with purple thunderbolts. As such, it was more powerful than the last attack. Jian Wushuang shifted his figure and dodged the attack easily. The palm of the beast struck the void where Jian Wushuang used to stand, smashing it into dust. The world-shattering power of the blow caused Jian Wushuang's pupils to contract involuntarily. What power! This beast puppet's battle strength is borderline Celestial Master's exceptional realm, Jian Wushuang thought secretly. He could not withstand the repeated attacks from a Celestial Master at the exceptional realm, but he possessed exceptional defensive capabilities and could still hold the beast up for a while more. Buzz! The void around them shook. The purple scales of the exotic beast had stood up after it missed its target, and huge amounts of purple thunderbolts rose from its body, shattering the void around it. This power then formed into a giant electric net dropping down upon Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang struck with his sword. As the powerful sword light hit the electrical net, however, it quickly dissipated. My attack couldn't slash the net open. Jian Wushuang thought. He was shocked, and to make matters worse, the net was still descending upon him, its momentum unchecked. Whoosh! An awe-inspiring amount of power burst forth from Jian Wushuang's body, but it quickly dissipated after a while. Jian Wushuang was still standing perfectly well at his original spot. He raised a hand to pat the corner of his robe, but he began to smile faintly. The beast puppet's strength is close to Celestial Master's exceptional realm and much higher than mine. That said, it still will be unable to hit me, thought Jian Wushuang, secretly pleased. Roar! The beast growled as it fixed its murderous gaze on Jian Wushuang. Because of him, the Celestial Masters had long escaped. It's extremely strong in terms of attack, speed, and defense. I'm not its match, and I'd better leave while I can, Jian Wushuang thought, smiling slightly. He then immediately put his Dragon Blood secret skill to use. The first level of the secret skill increased Jian Wushuang's speed by 10-fold immediately. He fled with amazing speed, and the purple beast was hell-bent on giving chase, but the distance between them kept increasing. Soon, its target was completely gone from its line of sight. The celestial masters were quietly waiting for Jian Wushuang amongst ruins. Both of them had mixed emotions. Not long after, Jian Wushuang's figure appeared, traversing toward them from the void at a considerable distance away. "Are you two all right?" Jian Wushuang asked, laughing heartily as he saw the two celestial masters, especially the elderly hunchback. "I was only slightly wounded, and will recover after doing the closed-door training for a while," replied Celestial Master Yi. He then lifted his head to look at Jian Wushuang before continuing in a tone that made him sound guilty. "Jian Wushuang, before," he said. "What happened earlier was a trivial matter. Please don't take it to heart," Jian Wushuang laughed. It was the truth, he had not taken it seriously. "I'm ashamed, I really am," sighed Celestial Master Yi as he shook his head. "Jian Wushuang, we were too conceited. We would like to apologize and thank you for your help earlier on," Celestial Master Meng Long chipped in. They felt ashamed of their actions from the bottom of their heart. Previously, they had not welcomed Jian Wushuang when he came over to exchange greetings. Celestial Master Yi was especially hostile to him, and even reprimanded him for a bit. He had described Jian Wushuang's action of venturing alone into the uncharted territory as akin to courting his own death. But, what happened after that? If it were not for Jian Wushuang's intervention, both of them would have died there and then in the hands of the beast puppet. Chapter 1104, Chaos Divine Thunder. Chapter 1104, Chaos Divine Thunder. Jian Wushuang, I was capitalizing too much on my seniority when I spoke earlier. I'm sorry, Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang felt it extremely funny to see two men continuously apologizing to him. He understood that the two celestial masters had encouraged him to return back to the Green Fire Palace earlier on because they did not know the extent of his strength. They had just spoken in a harsher tone, but they had good intentions. As such, Jian Wushuang did not take it to heart. Furthermore, when they were being chased by the exotic beast, they had told him to flee when they saw him charging toward them. It proved that even though they did not welcome him, they saw him as one of their own. Both of you don't have to do this, Jian Wushuang said. He laughed helplessly. After exchanging a few pleasantries, Jian Wushuang began to ask the celestial masters about the beast. What's going on with that purple beast earlier on? The celestial masters exchanged glances before the old hunchback began to explain. Two of the Daos I created have something to do with thunderbolts. When I passed by the purple mountain, I could sense something deep inside me, as if there was something within its depths. As such, I sneaked with Celestial Master Meng Long into its core to check it out. Indeed, I saw a giant axe at the bottom of the mountain. The axe was giving off an extremely strong aura, and electricity was flowing around it. It was definitely a very good piece of treasure, but when I decided to take it for my own, the purple beast appeared and grievously wounded me with a swipe of its palm. Both of us had to put aside all thoughts about keeping the giant axe and we began to flee. The exotic beast, however, kept chasing after us. As for what happened next, I believe you saw it. Is that so? Jian Wushuang asked as he nodded. Secretly, however, he began thinking. A magic weapon that could give off such a strong aura is most definitely not an emperor weapon. At the very least, it has to be a chaos magic weapon. It might even be a chaos magic treasure. Chaos magic weapons were much more valuable than emperor weapons. High-level weapons of this kind were worth even more, and if the giant axe turned out to be a chaos magic treasure, it would be a weapon of the rarest kind. Jian Wushuang could not ignore the fact that a rare treasure that was at least a chaos magic weapon had been discovered. Celestial Master Yi, I hear that you use a giant axe as a weapon? Asked Jian Wushuang. He had got some intel on various experts of the Green Fire Palace from Celestial Master Yu Ding long ago, and because of this, he managed to recognize the two Celestial Masters at a glance. Naturally, he also knew what sort of weapons they used. Right, I use a giant axe as my weapon. That one hidden underneath the purple mountain is very suitable for me, replied Celestial Master Yi solemnly. Since that's the case, we should think of a way to get it, said Jian Wushuang cheerfully. The Celestial Masters looked at each other. They had the same intent as Jian Wushuang, but they also felt that they were incapable of getting the giant axe. Jian Wushuang, do you have a way to take the axe from the purple beast? Asked Celestial Master Yi as he turned his gaze toward Jian Wushuang. There's a way, said Jian Wushuang with a faint smile. If I didn't guess wrongly, the beast is neither interested in the axe, nor has it been tasked to protect the weapon. If not, it would not have chased after you two for such a great distance. The Celestial Masters nodded profusely, evidently agreeing with Jian Wushuang's statement. If that's the case, things will be much easier. I'll distract the beast and lure it away, while you two take the opportunity to sneak the giant axe out, said Jian Wushuang mirthfully. The plan is easy to execute, but our main concern is still the purple beast's strength. Jian Wushuang, can you escape in one piece if you try to distract its attention? Asked Celestial Master Yi with a frown. I can, replied Jian Wushuang confidently. Didn't I escape in one piece just now? The Celestial Masters believed him upon seeing how confident he was. Since that's the case, we'll be relying on you, Jian Wushuang. We'll discuss how to share the axe after we've succeeded, Celestial Master Yi said. Fine, said Celestial Master Meng Long as he nodded solemnly. No problem, said Jian Wushuang, before laughing carefreely, as if he did not care who the axe landed with. Soon, Jian Wushuang moved out. He retraced his steps back to the mountain made up of purple gems and then headed directly underground. He arrived at the bottom of the mountain and saw the huge axe not long after. That's the axe? Asked Jian Wushuang as he became aware of and began to perceive the weapon's presence. The aura emanating from the axe made him a little surprised. From the aura it's giving off, it should be a chaos magic treasure, but somehow it's incomplete. If I didn't guess wrongly, this giant axe should be damaged, Gu Qing's voice rang out. A broken piece of chaos magic treasure, said Jian Wushuang, momentarily stunned. Jian Wushuang himself possessed a damaged chaos divine treasure, the mountain river map. He knew that the damage would devalue the item considerably, but even so, it was still more valuable than ordinary chaos magic weapons. This is... Gu Qing suddenly grew curious. What's wrong? Jian Wushuang asked multiple times. You're in luck, Jian Wushuang, replied Gu Qing, laughing. What do you mean? Asked Jian Wushuang, bewildered. There's no question that the giant axe is indeed a damaged chaos magic treasure, and that the axe is of little use to you, a sword user. There's chaos divine thunder hidden within it, however, and that'll come in handy for you, said Gu Qing. Chaos divine thunder? Asked Jian Wushuang, a little stunned. It's extremely powerful and rarely seen even in the eternal chaotic world. My guess is that the axe's owner was extremely strong when he or she was alive, and skilled in thunderbolt Dao. It's probably the reason why he hid chaos the divine thunder in his weapon, most likely, he wanted to surprise his enemy, replied Gu Qing. Jian Wushuang, didn't you use to practice the divine Yin thunder on Star Island? Asked Gu Qing. Yes, Jian Wushuang replied as he nodded subconsciously. He had mastered the secret skill on Star Island, and it was a rather powerful technique. When he was still weak, the technique helped him in many ways, but after his strength grew, he seldom used it anymore, especially now that his battle strength was already on par with an advanced celestial master. After all, if he still wanted to improve on the technique, he had to acquire plenty of power from thunderbolts. As such, he had no way of improving on it while in the green fire world. Now that Gu Qing brought the technique up, Jian Wushuang thought. Gu Qing, are you trying to suggest that the Chaos Divine Thunder can help improve my Divine Yin Thunder secret skill? Asked Jian Wushuang. Of course, replied Gu Qing cheerfully. The Chaos Divine Thunder is high-level stuff. Just a thunderbolt could help your Divine Yin Thunder secret skill break through into level 3. When that happens, your overall strength will definitely have improved greatly. Chapter 1105, Getting the Axe. Chapter 1105, Getting the Axe. Level 3, asked Jian Wushuang. He could not help but feel tempted. He had managed to cultivate the Divine Yin Thunder's secret skill to level 2 on Star Island with a great deal of labor. This secret skill had never been improved since then. However, if it broke through into level 3, that definitely would give his strength a big boost. Looks like I definitely have to get my hands on the Chaos Divine Thunder, Jian Wushuang thought as he licked his lips. Firstly, he had to get the giant axe. I shall act directly then. Jian Wushuang did not hesitate and dashed toward the magic weapon. The purple beast immediately picked up his movements the moment he drew near. Roar! An ear-splitting roar reverberated across the entire chasm as the huge body of the exotic beast dashed out from its resting place with alarming speed, covered with lightning. In an instant, it appeared before Jian Wushuang, and it clawed at the intruder with its sharp talons. Jian Wushuang's expression remained calm as the Blood Mountain sword appeared in his hand. He then casually struck at the claws of his opponent with it. Clang! The sound of metal clashing against metal rang out, and Jian Wushuang's figure retreated quickly away. Damned human, the beast hissed. Its gaze was extremely murderous, it had recognized Jian Wushuang. It then continued attacking in a fit of rage. This time, the beast had no plans to allow the accursed human to escape again. Soon, two figures, one chasing and the other fleeing, could be seen bursting out from underground as they dashed toward the surrounding void. Just as the beast was lured out of hiding by Jian Wushuang, Celestial Master Yi and Celestial Master Meng Long, who had remained in hiding all this while, acted immediately. They snuck into the chasm and located the giant axe before absorbing it into an interspatial ring. The hunchbacked Celestial Master Yi then sent a message to Jian Wushuang to keep him updated. Have they already got the axe? Jian Wushuang thought. A smile appeared on his lips as he received the message. He did not want to waste any more time with the beast and shook it off easily with his dragon blood secret skill. He then gathered with the Celestial Masters in a spot within the void. Celestial Master Yi, take out the giant axe quickly for us to see, said Celestial Master Meng Long happily. Sure, replied his companion readily. He then drew out the weapon with a wave of his hand. Its power is extremely great, much more than normal chaos magic weapons, to be exact. It should already be classified as the chaos magic treasure, right? Asked Celestial Master Meng Long as he stared at the axe. It's definitely a chaos magic treasure, but it's a pity that it has been damaged and not as powerful as it used to be, replied Celestial Master Yi regretfully. Even if it's not as powerful as it used to be, it's still much more powerful than the magic weapon you're using, retorted Celestial Master Meng Long as he rolled his eyes. Ha, you're right, laughed Celestial Master Yi, seeming extremely happy. His expression grew solemn after the usual show of humility. Jian Wushuang, Celestial Master Meng Long, I managed to get this giant axe because of help from the both of you, especially Jian Wushuang. It's extremely valuable and should fetch close to 20,000 fire points. I wish to give the two of you my 15,000 fire points that I've accumulated painstakingly over the years. It'll up to both of you to divide them amongst yourselves, he suggested. He sounded extremely sincere. The giant axe was extremely suitable for him and obviously not for Jian Wushuang or Celestial Master Meng Long. As such, logically the weapon should go to him, but he had to offer a suitable amount of fire points to both of them in return. The giant axe's value was somewhere near what he said, 20,000 fire points. As such, his offer of 15,000 fire points to be split amongst his two accomplices was extremely generous. After all, he had also put in a considerable amount of effort into obtaining the weapon. If he had not felt its presence earlier on, none of them would have discovered the weapon in the first place. It's all due to your sharp senses, Celestial Master Yi, and your act of luring the purple beast away, Jian Wushuang, that we managed to obtain the giant axe. I didn't contribute at all and I can't possibly accept the offer of fire points, said Celestial Master Meng Long with a laugh. Unexpectedly, Jian Wushuang also shook his head. The giant axe was discovered by you first, Celestial Master Yi, and naturally it should go to you. As for drawing the beast away, it was nothing. I don't want the fire points. If you really wish to thank me, I have a request to make, he said. A request? Asked Celestial Master Yi as he looked toward Jian Wushuang. Speak your mind, my young friend, he said readily. The Celestial Master considered Jian Wushuang to have saved the lives of both his companion and himself earlier on, and Jian Wushuang had even distracted the exotic beast so that they could obtain the giant axe. As such, he was truly grateful to Jian Wushuang, and he would have agreed to any request, as long as it was within his means. When I saw the giant axe, I noticed that there's an extremely strong piece of Chaos Divine Thunder contained with it. I don't suppose you could give it to me? Asked Jian Wushuang. Chaos Divine Thunder? Asked the Celestial Master with a frown. In truth, he knew what was hidden in the weapon after becoming its master. There's indeed Chaos Divine Thunder in this axe, it should have been left behind by its previous owner. It is of not much use to me, and you can take it if you wish to, young friend, he agreed. Then I shall thank you for your kindness, said Jian Wushuang, feeling pleased. Celestial Master Yi drew the Chaos Divine Thunder in the axe out, allowing Jian Wushuang to transfer it into his body carefully. It was a rather successful operation. Even though the Chaos Divine Thunder was in Jian Wushuang's body now, it was still not under his control. He would have to refine it completely before he could slowly absorb its power and cultivate his own Divine Yin Thunder secret skill to greater levels. Now that I've obtained the Chaos Divine Thunder, I have to go somewhere to do the closed-door training for a while. You two do not have to wait for me, please continue to seek for opportunities, said Jian Wushuang with a smile. Since that's the case, we'll take our leave, the Celestial Masters said. They then set off quickly. After they left, Jian Wushuang found a quiet spot and built a temporary cave mansion for himself. He sat cross-legged in the cave mansion, feeling the powers of two thunderbolts beating within himself. They were the Divine Yin Thunder, which he had cultivated from his secret skill, and the Chaos Divine Thunder within the giant axe from the purple beast's lair. He wanted to refine the Chaos Divine Thunder and absorb it slowly into his Divine Yin Thunder. Let's begin. Jian Wushuang exclaimed. He let out a stream of air lightly and immediately began the refining process. Chapter 1106, Sinkhole. Chapter 1106, Sinkhole. In a flash, 8 years passed by. Ha, I've succeeded. Jian Wushuang opened his eyes and there was a gold thunderbolt flashing past his eyes. He had shut himself in the cave mansion for 8 years. He had finally reached level 3 of the Divine Yin Thunder secret skill. At the first level of the skill, he could produce the most ordinary black thunderbolts. At level 2, they turned scarlet. And now, at level 3 of the skill, he could produce gold thunderbolts. They contained extremely ferocious power which was at least 10 times more than that of the scarlet thunderbolts produced at level 2 of the skill. When this secret skill reached level 2, it had little impact on my overall strength. Now that it has reached level 3, it'll help increase the power of my swordsmanships once I learn to combine both together. My overall power could even reach a new level, he thought. Currently, I'm faster than the advanced celestial masters, but in terms of power, I'm much weaker than them. Now that I have reached a higher level of proficiency in Divine Yin Thunder, the power of my swordsmanships will increase, thereby solving the issue of my power shortage. I'm definitely much stronger than before. Jian Wushuang clenched his fists together. He was feeling somewhat expectant. He wanted to test his strength against an opponent to see how much he had improved. He had no luck finding any expert from the Jin Kingdom in the vast battlefield, however. In fact, he had only encountered one after wandering for so many years. I can only wait for the next opportunity, Jian Wushuang thought, trying hard to suppress his desire to fight. After successfully achieving level 3 proficiency in Divine Yin Thunder, Jian Wushuang left the cave mansion and resumed his journey, casually wandering about in the battlefield. It seemed boundless, it was huge. Also, it was fraught with many natural perilous places. They were so dangerous that even any of the 5 Green Fire Palace masters could die if they stepped into the traps by accident. Needless to say, the probability of an ordinary celestial master dying from falling into the traps was even higher. 5 years after he achieved a breakthrough in the Divine Yin Thunder secret skill, Jian Wushuang came to a place that had an extremely peculiar landscape. This is... Jian Wushuang studied the ground in front of him, looking a little awestruck. As far as he could see, there was a pitch-black bottomless sinkhole on the ground. Jian Wushuang's eyesight was extremely sharp now, and the sinkhole had to be at least more than 33 kilometers if he could not see its bottom, even after utilizing the Scarlet Eye secret skill. Furthermore, it was much, much too wide. All Jian Wushuang could see was the sinkhole. It stretched for at least 3,000 kilometers. How was such a huge sinkhole formed? Could it be also created by a fight between experts? Uttered Jian Wushuang in awe. That's highly possible, nodded Gu King solemnly inside Jian Wushuang. There are countless experts in the eternal chaotic world, and some of them, like the creator of the star bloodline and King Luo Zhen, the 8-star imperial god, are so powerful that they can easily destroy an eternal world with a simple move. The sinkhole in front of you could very possibly be created by one punch of such an expert, he continued. From one punch? Jian Wushuang asked. He cleared his throat and took in a deep, cold breath. Just at this moment. Jian Wushuang, look quickly toward your left, Gu King said hurriedly. Jian Wushuang did as told, his pupils immediately shrinking. Using the Scarlet Eye secret skill, he could clearly see a golden glow less than 30 kilometers far away from his left. Even though it was extremely faint and hard for even an ordinary celestial master to spot, Jian Wushuang still managed to notice it. He immediately dashed toward the glow without hesitation. He covered the distance between the glow and himself in an instant, appearing in front of it. This is, Jian Wushuang said, looking pleasantly surprised as he saw the true color of the golden glow. Ancient god power, he exclaimed. Jian Wushuang kept his gaze fixed squarely on the 4 golden droplets of water. He knew very clearly what sort of power they contained. Before he had left the Green Fire Palace, Tang Emperor had given him a similar droplet. It turned out to be the ancient god power. 4 droplets of ancient god power? Asked Jian Wushuang, pleasantly surprised. He then kept them in his interspatial ring. You're in luck, aren't you, Jian Wushuang? Teased Gu King. Ha, laughed Jian Wushuang readily. Indeed, he was in luck. There were many uses for the ancient god power, especially for Jian Wushuang. At the Fire Point Exchange Office, 1 droplet of ancient god power was worth exactly 5,000 fire points. As such, the 4 droplets he just collected was worth 20,000 fire points. They were worth as much as the valuable giant axe obtained by Celestial Master Yi much earlier. Soon, however, Jian Wushuang began to look doubtful. How did 4 droplets of ancient god power come to be suspended above the sinkhole, he thought. He turned his gaze toward the pitch-black, bottomless sinkhole below him subconsciously. At this moment, a booming sound suddenly came from the bottom of the sinkhole. Jian Wushuang then felt the land around him starting to shake violently. What's going on? Jian Wushuang asked, frowning. Jian Wushuang, I have a bad feeling about this. You had better leave while you can, said Gu King solemnly. I feel the same way, Jian Wushuang replied, squinting. He then dashed toward the void at some distance away, not daring to stay for even a little while. Not long after he began to move, however, the booming sound grew louder, before something exploded out of the sinkhole. A bone-chilling force was rising out. It looked like a long-dormant volcano erupting. It was terrible. A terrible force. The moment the force rose out from the sinkhole, the void above it began to disintegrate like paper. The force contained huge shearing power, and it destroyed the area and everything around it. That's not good, exclaimed Jian Wushuang, his expression changing. Flee, Jian Wushuang. Flee quickly, roared Gu King. Jian Wushuang had reacted extremely swiftly. The moment he could sense the booming sound, he immediately dashed toward the void at the edge of the sinkhole, but the twisting force was still moving too quickly for him. He had just reached the border of the sinkhole and had yet to escape from it, when the force caught up with him. Chapter 1107, Blood Cold Wind. Chapter 1107, Blood Cold Wind. Boom! In an instant, a fearsome gale with huge twisting force struck Jian Wushuang. He immediately grunted in pain and started burning the spiritual power in his body as fuel to utilize the second level of his dragon blood secret skill. His speed immediately increased to 100 times faster, and he tried his best to withstand the impact from the blast. In the end, he managed to force his way out of the void which the sinkhole was at as well as the impact radius of the gale. He was deathly pale as he stood on the void away from the sinkhole. He spat out a large mouthful of blood, and he could feel that his aura had been diminished to pitiful levels. Luckily, I'm still alive, even though I was seriously wounded. Jian Wushuang wiped away the blood stains on the corner of his mouth and raised his head again, turning his gaze back to the void surrounding the sinkhole. The fearsome gale was still sweeping around, smashing anything in its path to bits. The scene caused the corners of Jian Wushuang's mouth to twitch. He still had a lingering fear of the gale. It's too dangerous, Jian Wushuang thought. He was in grave danger moments ago, and if his reaction had been only a fraction slower, or if his speed was slightly slower, his figure would definitely have been smashed to smithereens by the impact from the gale. He doubted there would even be any remains of himself left. The epicenter of the gale should be the center of the sinkhole. I was only standing at the side of the sinkhole, which was far from its core. Even so, I was seriously wounded even with the protection of the blood-killing plate armor and the golden image secret skill. Furthermore, the blast only lasted for a while, Jian Wushuang muttered in awe, his eyes still full of shock. Jian Wushuang, if I didn't see wrongly, this gale should be the blood-cold wind, something which is seen rarely even in the eternal chaotic world. Not only does it contain a terrible twisting power, but the chilling effect it causes is also even more alarming. Most of your wounds were caused by this chilling effect, Gu King explained. Blood cold wind? Jian Wushuang asked. When he briefly made contact with the gale earlier, he had indeed felt an extremely chilly energy rush into his body. Normally, it's very hard for the blood-cold wind to form, but the sinkhole before you just now managed to create such a huge amount of it. If I didn't guess wrongly, there must be some treasure hidden deep within it. It must be something that's very chilly and contains an extreme amount of yin energy. Also, it must be extremely valuable, said Gu King. So what if there's treasure inside the sinkhole? I can't get to it, even if it's a chaos divine treasure, said Jian Wushuang bitterly. That's true, said Gu King as he nodded in agreement. He then remained silent. Both of them knew that there definitely was some sort of treasure at the bottom of the sinkhole, and it was of the extremely rare variety. Even so, they had no way of obtaining it. After all, Jian Wushuang had barely survived a blast of the gale. Who knew what dangers would be waiting for them at the bottom of the sinkhole? As such, Jian Wushuang could only stand by anxiously. He stood silently at the edge of the sinkhole as Gu King slowly began to patch him up. Before long, the terrible blood-cold wind had also abated. Even the void that had been damaged by the gale had been restored. It was peaceful once again, as if nothing had ever happened before. Even so, Jian Wushuang, who had just escaped with his life, did not dare to step close to the sinkhole again. He did not leave, however. He just stood nearby in silence, quietly waiting. After about 1 hour, a booming sound rose from the bottom of the sinkhole again. Is it starting again? Jian Wushuang fled to a safe distance far away from the sinkhole, his gaze remaining fixed on it. Indeed, with a loud sound, the blood-cold wind rose out from the sinkhole again. It destroyed everything in its path like the previous gale did. This time, Jian Wushuang was far away and unaffected by the gale. He only quietly observed the entire proceedings. The blood-cold wind lasted for about the same time that one needed to take 10 breaths, before it abated again. 10 breaths? Jian Wushuang thought as he squinted. The previous gale also lasted for around the same duration. Jian Wushuang remained at the same spot, constantly observing gale after gale. 10 days passed by in a jiffy. Within these 10 days, the blood-cold wind kept rising out of the sinkhole, and Jian Wushuang kept a close watch on it. He had already spotted the pattern of the gale's occurrence. The blood-cold wind only gets activated once every hour, and it lasts for the same duration. I take 10 breaths every time. Apart from that, each time it comes, it'll carry some ancient god power along with it. When it dies down, some of that power remains behind, Jian Wushuang thought. He remained in observation at the same spot for 10 days, witnessing countless gusts of blood-cold wind rising out from the sinkhole. He noticed a droplet of ancient god power left behind after one such gale abated, leading him to realize that not only was there a treasure of extreme yin energy in the sinkhole, there was also plenty of ancient god power in it as well. The ancient god power was extremely pure and condensed by at least 6-star ancient god. Naturally, even the blood-cold wind could not easily destroy such power, and as a result, it must have remained intact at the bottom of the sinkhole. Jian Wushuang now understood why he managed to see 4 droplets of ancient god power at the sinkhole earlier on. After coming to a complete understanding of the regularity of the gales, he took out his animal hide map. The location I'm currently at is. After identifying his location on the map, he left a mark which contained a message. The message was about the uniqueness of the sinkhole, as well as the regularity of the gales. Aside, Jian Wushuang also named the sinkhole Chilly Wind Valley. This vast battlefield is fraught with dangers. Who knows how many places like Chilly Wind Valley can be found in it? Now that I've found and marked one, the chances of survival of Green Fire Palace experts who choose to wander in it will increase slightly, Jian Wushuang said with a faint smile. The other experts from the Green Fire Palace would also mark their maps in a similar fashion when they came to new places or danger zones in previously uncharted territory. After returning to the Green Fire Palace, they would hand over their maps to the respective palace masters, who would reorganize them and pass on information about the newly discovered danger zones to every expert still wandering in the battlefield, so that they could avoid going into these areas and remain safe. As a member of the Green Fire Palace, Jian Wushuang had to play his part. He still remained standing in the void at the edge of Chilly Wind Valley. He was in no hurry to leave. Just at this moment, a message was transmitted to him via the token in his interspatial ring. Chapter 1108, An Order. Chapter 1108, An Order. What? Jian Wushuang asked. His expression changed the instant he read the message. Coordinates to a zone on the battlefield were included the message, as well as an order. The order was personally sent by Void Temple Master, one of the 5 Green Fire Palace Masters. He wanted all experts wandering in the battlefield to proceed with utmost urgency to the zone. Those too far away from the given coordinates were exempted, but those that were near had to rush over immediately. What caused Void Temple Master to send out such an order, thought Jian Wushuang, still feeling surprised. He then immediately took out the map to the battlefield again. The coordinates sent by the Temple Master are over here. Very quickly, Jian Wushuang had located the zone which Void Temple Master wanted the experts to proceed to. It was also in uncharted territory. This zone is not too far away from me, and I can reach there in a month at my current speed, thought Jian Wushuang. 1 month's journey was considered short in the boundless battlefield. Let's set off quickly. Originally, Jian Wushuang had planned to remain at Chilly Wind Valley for a while more to see if more ancient god power or perhaps even other treasures would come out from the sinkhole, but he dared not delay carrying out Void Temple Master's order and set off immediately. His wounds had healed a long time ago, during the 10 days he spent observing the gales. Naturally, his speed was extremely fast. At the same moment he received the message, many other Green Fire Palace experts also received the same order. Void Temple Master sent out this order personally to us. What's so urgent? Something big must have happened in this zone. Could it be the discovery of a new secret land? Or perhaps a big opportunity? Something big must have happened. It's a pity that the zone is far from where I am, way too far, to be exact. Even if I put everything down now and rush there at maximum speed, I'll need at least a few centuries' time to reach there. The incident must have long blown over by then. It's too far away. I can't do anything as I couldn't possibly make it in time to help. Those experts that were currently extremely far away from the zone were surprised to receive the order, but all of them ended up shaking their heads helplessly. The zone was too far away for them, and these experts would need centuries to arrive there. Furthermore, one had to factor in the potential dangers that they would be faced with. Evidently, there was no way they could make it in time to provide assistance. The other experts that were already nearby or even not too far away from the zone immediately made their way there. There must be some huge opportunity that showed itself. Otherwise, the Temple Master would not have asked so many of us to go to the zone. That said, nobody knows what sort of opportunity it would be. I'm so looking forward to knowing what it is. Let's go, let's move immediately. The opportunity may have already been seized by others by the time we get there. Many celestial masters from the Green Fire Temple were rushing over to the zone at top speed. At the same time, something was happening in the void far away from the zone. An indifferent-looking man who was carrying a long sword on his back was bashing his way through all the obstacles in his path, as if he had turned into a sharp sword himself. He was just a celestial master, but the speed which he was traveling at was far beyond the capabilities of his peers. The man was Sunrise Sword Emperor. He was also advancing at maximum speed toward the zone. Two figures were waiting quietly at a vast wasteland, and not before long, a black spot appeared at the limits of their lines of sight. "He's here," said the short hunchbacked elder, a smile appearing on his face. The black spot gradually grew bigger, and a figure appeared before them shortly after. "We meet again," Celestial Master Yi and Celestial Master Meng Long greeted Jian Wushuang with a smile. "How have you been, Jian Wushuang, my young friend?" asked the Celestial Masters as they smiled too. Although they had gone their separate ways, all three of them were wandering around the same area and they were not far away from each other. Naturally, they would meet again after receiving the Temple Master's message. "I believe the two of you are also going to the zone?" asked Jian Wushuang. "Do you know the reason why we're told to go there?" he continued asking. The Celestial Masters shook their heads. "Even though I don't know what the call is all about, but I've been in the Green Fire Palace for so long and haven't received many messages of this nature. I believe that something big must have happened in that zone," replied Celestial Master Yi solemnly. "If that's the case, let's not dally around any longer. We should set off immediately." Without waiting any longer, Jian Wushuang joined the Celestial Masters in their journey toward the zone. They arrived at their destination 1 month later. Only after arriving did they realize that the zone was actually made up of an endless chain of mountains, and there were many towering mountain ranges in it. "I've never been to this place before. Let's be extra careful," said Celestial Master Yi. "Right," nodded Jian Wushuang gently. Suddenly, he sensed something. At the same time, this case happened to the two Celestial Masters as well. They could sense the presence of an expert from the Green Fire Palace from their tokens, and apparently, the expert was moving at an alarming pace. "Seems like he or she is fleeing," asked Celestial Master Yi with a frown. "He or she could be fleeing or chasing after an enemy, another expert from the Jin Kingdom, for example." "Let's go to get a closer look for ourselves," said Jian Wushuang. The three of them immediately hurried off to their comrade's location. The expert had also seemed to sense their presence through his or her token. He was changing direction and moving toward them now. After a while, they saw the expert. "It's Celestial Master Jin Chu," said Celestial Master Yi emotionally. Just by himself, exclaimed Celestial Master Meng Long, similarly emotional. Celestial Master Jin Chu was a medium Celestial Master of the Green Fire Palace and considered as weaker compared to his peers. As such, under normal circumstances, he would be traveling with companions in uncharted territory. Now, however, he was by himself. Not only was he traveling alone, but his aura was also extremely weak and his complexion very pale. Evidently, he was also wounded seriously and two figures in gold armor were chasing after him. The Jin Kingdom. It's experts from the Jin Kingdom. The eyes of the Celestial Masters glinted as they noticed the figures in gold armor as their killing intent surged. Let's go. Jian Wushuang growled as the Blood Mountain sword appeared in his hand. He took a huge step forward, moving towards Celestial Master Jin Chu before the others. Celestial Master Yi and Celestial Master Meng Long followed closely behind. Chapter 1109, Forced to Retreat. Chapter 1109, Forced to Retreat. Experts from the Green Fire Palace. As Jian Wushuang and the two Celestial Masters dashed toward them, the two experts from the Jin Kingdom noticed their presence. Humph, Celestial Master Yi and Celestial Master Meng Long are only middle ranking, while the other one is just a useless Eternal Realm rookie. No need to bother about them, let's continue chasing our target. Celestial Master Jin Chu is worth exactly 3 life elixirs, exclaimed one of the Jin Kingdom experts, a purple-haired burly man. The experts from the Jin Kingdom also had some knowledge of a few Celestial Masters from the Green Fire Palace. It was how they identified Celestial Master Yi and Celestial Master Meng Long. The eyes of the other expert were also focused upon Celestial Master Jin Chu. The speed of both pursuers did not decrease in the least bit. This surprised Jian Wushuang and his companions. Why are they still in pursuit after noticing our presence? What foolhardiness, said Celestial Master Yi with a chilly gaze. One of them is an advanced Celestial Master, while the other a middle-ranking one. How dare they be so conceited, added Celestial Master Meng Long, rage burning in his eyes as well. Leave the advanced Celestial Master to me. I'll let you guys handle the middle-ranking one, said Jian Wushuang. Right, said Celestial Master Yi, nodding. No problem, added Celestial Master Meng Long. They had personally witnessed Jian Wushuang's strength, and it was because of his presence that they remarked about the foolishness of the two Jin Kingdom experts. Shortly after, the three of them met up with the experts from the Jin Kingdom. Jian Wushuang was holding onto the Blood Mountain sword, it was bursting with strong power. He charged before his companions and slashed with the sword when he got close enough to touch his opponent. Heaven's Bane, he exclaimed. A majestic ray of sword light of pure yang energy sliced through the void in front of it, and a golden thunderbolt merged with it as it shot out, causing it to become more piercing to his opponent's eyes. It also increased the pressure felt by the expert from the Jin Kingdom. Piss off, you foolish, useless thing, the purple-haired burly advanced Celestial Master roared. He struck his palm out with amazing quickness. The force equivalent to a thunderclap was contained in his move, it was extremely powerful as well. Even though the burly man acted as though he did not think much of Jian Wushuang, he dared not take his opponent's attack lightly. Evidently, he had utilized a secret skill of his. The two huge forces, each containing electrical energy, clashed head-on. Bam! With an ear-splitting boom, wave after wave of electrical power was unleashed into the surrounding void, shredding it into pieces. It felt as though heaven and earth had split open. The burly man's expression changed. He could feel a sharp pain emanating from his palm as his figure stumbled backward uncontrollably. When he raised his head again, he noticed that Jian Wushuang had already struck again. Swoosh! 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 Jian Wushuang struck 4 times with his sword. Each move was immensely powerful and brought huge pressure to his opponent. Jian Wushuang infused each strike with a golden thunderbolt, causing their power to be greatly increased. The level 3 Divine Yin Thunder had increased his attack capability to its peak. The burly man wore a serious expression on his face. This time, he returned the favor with both hands. His palms, which were encased in scarlet boxing gloves, surged with electrical power. Shocking thunder palm. Bam! 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 The man struck 4 times with his palms as well, also unleashing all of his power as an advanced celestial master. Even so, his figure was still knocked backward by the impact of the clash, and his arms felt incredibly numb. How could I, an advanced celestial master, not be on par with this kid in terms of offensive power, the burly man thought. He looked at Jian Wushuang in surprise before turning around and fleeing. As he did so, he left a voice message for his comrade to leave quickly as well. Jian Wushuang had no intention of chasing after the burly man. Instead, he turned his gaze toward the other battle which was still raging on. The Celestial Master Yi and Celestial Master Meng Long were facing off against the other expert from the Jin Kingdom. The expert was only a medium Celestial Master, and his strength was close to his opponent's. If it was a one-on-one fight, he would not be afraid, but he was facing 2 opponents now. Furthermore, Celestial Master Jin Chu still had some battle strength left in him, and he was still eyeing for an opportunity to strike back. All these factors caused the Jin Kingdom expert to defend clumsily. He had originally hoped that his partner could come to his aid after dispatching the Eternal Realm expert, but surprisingly, the burly man had lost to Jian Wushuang and even fled immediately after. Damn it! His expression changed drastically, he was still in shock. The only thing on his mind was to retreat as well. His opponents were, however, hell-bent on catching him. Just at this moment, Jian Wushuang also came charging toward him. With my current strength, it'll still be hard for me to completely subdue an advanced celestial master, but it's more than enough to handle a middle-ranking one, thought Jian Wushuang as his eyes gleamed with murderous intent. He unleashed his swordsmanship on his opponent as he was drawing near. An extremely beautiful yet mournful-looking sword light formed, and a terrible consciousness attack mixed with killing intent shot toward the middle-ranking celestial master of the Jin Kingdom. Faced with the sudden attack, the celestial master's consciousness was muddled in an instant, and he could do nothing as the sword light sliced his head off. Out of the 2 experts that were pursuing Celestial Master Jin Chu, one was dead now and the other had already fled. The experts from the Green Fire Palace gathered in the void. Celestial Master Yi and Celestial Master Meng Long greeted Celestial Master Jin Chu. He then turned his gaze in surprise to Jian Wushuang. This esteemed fellow, then, should be our new comrade and young friend Jian Wushuang, right? That's me, replied Jian Wushuang with a slight nod. I'm Jin Chu. I'm indebted to you 3 for your help today, the Celestial Master said in gratitude. It's no big deal. Furthermore, both Celestial Master Meng Long and I did not do anything much. If you really wish to thank someone, you should thank our young friend here. If it wasn't for him, we would have been unable to force the advanced Celestial Master of the Jin Kingdom to retreat, much less kill the other middle-ranking one, said Celestial Master Yi cheerfully. Yes, it's all thanks to our young friend, Jian Wushuang, said Celestial Master Jin Chu. He thanked the Eternal Realm expert profusely, but he wore a strange look on his face. He had heard about Jian Wushuang before and knew about his background. He even knew that Jian Wushuang had just joined the Green Fire Palace, and that even though he was an Eternal Realm expert, his battle strength was on par with a medium celestial master. That was what he knew. Now that I've finally met him, isn't his actual strength much greater than reported, he thought. Wasn't Jian Wushuang's ability just supposed to be on par with that of a medium celestial master? So how could he defeat an advanced celestial master in direct combat? Celestial Master Jin Chu was extremely puzzled. Chapter 1110, Life Elixirs. Chapter 1110, Life Elixirs. Following a brief and polite chat, they began to get down to business. Celestial Master Jin Chu, the three of us rushed over here on Void Temple Master's order, but we don't know what has happened. Please tell us the details, Yi said. Jian Wushuang, Yi, and Meng Long knew that something must have happened for Void Temple Master to issue such an order. Something major did happen. To be precise, a big opportunity has appeared, Jin Chu answered. A big opportunity? The three of them were surprised. Here's the thing, Jin Chu explained. When a Green Fire Palace expert passed by the area lately, he found a life elixir. A life elixir? Jian Wushuang became stunned. Yi and Meng Long also appeared to be confused. Jian Wushuang was the only one among them who had never studied elixir. Yi and Meng Long knew a thing or two about elixirs, but life elixirs were foreign to them. Suddenly, Gu Qing's voice resounded in Jian Wushuang's mind. Life elixir is good news for the Green Fire world. Oh? Jian Wushuang asked, intrigued. Life elixir is an inimitable elixir and has only one effect. It can help a Dao master to integrate his existing Dao and condense his Dharma body. Integrate Daos and condense Dharma body? Wouldn't that mean becoming a celestial master? Yi asked in surprise. Yes, life elixir is an elixir that can advance a Dao master into a celestial master. Moreover, under normal circumstances, one elixir can produce one celestial master, Jin Chu answered. Jian Wushuang was shocked to hear this. It was a great challenge for a Dao master to become a celestial master, as one would be required to integrate existing Dao to create one's Dharma body. There were a large number of Dao masters in the Green Fire world, and quite a few of them had reached the top of rank 3. However, few celestial masters had emerged. Though there were quite a number of celestial masters in the Green Fire Palace, they had all arduously improved themselves over time in the Green Fire world for 40 million years. It was a challenge indeed to produce a celestial master. Yet, life elixirs now presented an easy way for a Dao master to become one. If this elixir became available in the Green Fire world, all the Dao masters would go mad over it. Though life elixirs are extraordinary, they're useless to us since we've reached the level of celestial master, said. You're right that it's useless to us. In fact, if there's only one of this elixir, Green Fire Palace wouldn't have cared. The issue is that there are tons of life elixir here. Jin Chu said seriously. Tons of life elixir? The other three asked in surprise. One elixir would produce a celestial master. Then wouldn't a bulk of life elixirs produce an army of celestial masters? Green Fire Palace would not have cared if the elixir could produce a single celestial master. However, if a large number of celestial masters was at stake. There were only 100 celestial masters in Green Fire Palace, which was insufficient for their battle against the Jin Kingdom. With a new group of celestial masters, Green Fire Palace would have the ability to directly fight the Jin Kingdom. Perhaps, they could even dominate the battle. There are numerous life elixirs here, but no one knows the exact number. I'm sure there are no less than 100 of them, Jin Chu said confidently. When the Green Fire Palace expert found the life elixirs, he informed only Void Temple Master. Void Temple Master then ordered several celestial masters nearby to search the area for life elixirs. Unexpectedly, when they arrived and were ready to act, Jin Kingdom experts also found the place. Therefore, both sides began searching and fighting for those life elixirs. Void Temple Master ordered you three to come after realizing the Jin Kingdom experts found out about it. I see. The three of them finally understood what had happened. Celestial Master Jin Chu, you've been here for several days. Did you find any life elixirs? Yi asked. I came here 10 days ago with Celestial Master Sen Jie, but we separated to increase our chances of finding life elixirs. I found 3 in the past 3 days, Jin Chu answered. You found 3 at one go? Jian Wushuang asked. Jin Chu's answer surprised them. 3 life elixirs could create 3 celestial masters. Just then. The three of them felt something. They had just received news from Void Temple Master through the token. Void Temple Master told them about life elixirs as well as their purpose. He said that a life elixir was worth 10,000 fire points at the Fire Points Exchange Office. 10,000 fire points for one. Yi was stunned, but his surprise soon gave way to excitement. He turned to look at Jin Chu in admiration. Congratulations, Celestial Master Jin Chu. You just earned 30,000 fire points. Points that I earned after nearly losing my life. If I hadn't been lucky enough to meet you three, I would have paid for it with my life, Jin Chu replied. The three of them exchanged looks before chuckling. Not only are these life elixirs valuable, but they're also of great importance to Green Fire Palace. We should try our best to find more, said. Why don't we split up and look for them? Jian Wushuang, you should go alone since you're the strongest. The three of us will stick together just in case. Sure. Jian Wushuang nodded as he was used to acting alone. Meng Long and Jin Chu also agreed. There were many Jin Kingdom experts here. If they tried searching the way Jin Chu did, they might just lose their elixirs. They would be able to put up a fight if the three of them stayed together. Then, I'll be taking my leave. Jian Wushuang waved at them before flying off. Yi and Meng Long waited for Jin Chu to recover a little before setting off to find life elixirs. Chapter 11:11 Acquaintances. Chapter 11:11 Acquaintances. Jian Wushuang flew alone at a comfortable pace, passing the never-ending lofty mountains below. He was using the Scarlet Eye secret skill as it gave him a broader view. To think there's such a peculiar elixir in the world. He appeared bewildered as he contemplated the existence of life elixirs. Humph. What's so surprising about them? Gu King asked coldly. You're so short-sighted. No one in the eternal chaotic world would even blink because there are so many more powerful ones there. Yes, but I'm now in the Green Fire world. Life elixirs will be a great help to Green Fire Palace. Jian Wushuang retorted. After all, one life elixir could create a celestial master. If they found hundreds of life elixirs here, Green Fire Palace would welcome hundreds of new celestial masters. It would greatly enhance the might of the palace. Oh right. Life elixirs could help people to integrate different Daos and create Dharma bodies. Can I use it when I'm ready to become a celestial master in the future? Jian Wushuang asked. You? It's impossible. Gu King laughed. Why? Jian Wushuang was confused. It's true that life elixirs can help one become a celestial master, but one's Dao will determine the chances of success in breaking through. If your 3 Dao are merely in the general level, then I can say with certainty that the elixir can help you become a celestial master. However, if one of 2 of your Daos are in the universe level, your chances drop to 80 or 90%. If they're in the creation level, your chances are less than 50%. You should at least develop the strongest sword principle if you want to be a celestial master and form your Dharma body. Life elixirs have little effect on you, so it's impossible for you to become a celestial master with just the elixir, Gu King added. I see. Jian Wushuang smiled wryly. He was unaware that life elixirs had a bearing on the level of Dao he had developed. Either way, I should try my best to get more life elixirs, Jian Wushuang said, clenching his hands. He continued to fly above the mountains to search for the elixirs. 5 days had passed since. This smell. Jian Wushuang stopped midair when he smelled the unmistakable fragrance of elixir. It originated from the spot beside him. The smell was unique as it was the smell of blood. Over there. Jian Wushuang looked in a particular direction and rushed over at once. After a while, he saw 2 scarlet elixirs floating in the void. 2 elixirs. Looks like I'm in luck. Jian Wushuang was so excited that he rushed to grab the 2 scarlet elixirs. However, when he looked at the elixirs in his hands, a strange feeling hit him. These are life elixirs. Such a strong smell of blood. Jian Wushuang commented in bewilderment. Life elixirs are made out of warrior's essence blood. Of course, they'll emanate the aura of essence blood, Gu King explained. I see. Jian Wushuang nodded. The strong aura of the two elixirs also attracted an elegant man dressed in a golden armor. The man also rushed to the source of the aura, but he was much slower than Jian Wushuang. He arrived just in time to see Jian Wushuang putting the two life elixirs away. 2 life elixirs. Damn it. Someone got to them earlier, and to make things worse, it's a Green Fire Palace expert. His face darkened and his expression twisted into one of anger. Soon, he got a clear look at Jian Wushuang. It's him. He stopped in midair with a frown. Jian Wushuang, who had just placed the life elixirs into his interspatial ring, also noticed the man's presence. He was surprised when he looked up and saw who it was. It was the Jin Kingdom expert that he met under the stone pillar with the word, kill, on it earlier, as well as the first Jin Kingdom expert that he met since entering the battlefield. The man possessed the strength of an advanced celestial master and was strong even among his same-level peers. He was, at least, much stronger than the purple-haired, burly man whom he defeated 3 days ago. The life elixirs fell into the youngster's hands. The man stared at Jian Wushuang, contemplating. He then shook his head. In their previous battle, he was defeated and even lost an arm. Jian Wushuang was evidently as strong as he was. Now that he was alone, it seemed unlikely that he would be able to steal those life elixirs from Jian Wushuang. The man turned around to leave after a brief contemplation. Just as he was about to leave. Ha! Where are you going, all anxious like that? Jian Wushuang's cheerful laughter reverberated in the air as he flew toward the man. The man stopped in his tracks and turned around to glare at Jian Wushuang. I know I can't kill you and have no way of taking the life elixirs from you, so I'm leaving. What else do you want me to do? He shouted. What else do I want you to do? Jian Wushuang sneered. The grudge between Green Fire Palace and the Jin Kingdom dictates both sides never stop until the other is exterminated. Since I've stumbled across you now, how can I allow you to leave with ease? Take this. Jian Wushuang charged at the man like he was a flowing light. A sword essence came out in an instant. You madman! There was raging fury in the man's eyes. He had chosen to leave, knowing that he could neither defeat Jian Wushuang or steal Jian Wushuang's life elixirs. However, he never expected that Jian Wushuang would provoke and fight him. Where did the kid get the courage? I didn't want to waste any energy battling you the last time, but did you think that I was afraid of you? The man asked coldly. Golden light flared from within him as 4 arms materialized, all equipped with a massive golden hammer. He swung his hammers at Jian Wushuang with a lightning speed motion. In just several decades, Jian Wushuang once again fought a fierce battle with the golden-armored man. Chapter 11-12, Second Battle. Chapter 11-12, Second Battle. Bang! The golden-armored man swung the massive hammers with his 4 arms. The hammers promptly turned into 4 golden lights. The lights converged and formed a straight line that aimed at Jian Wushuang one after another. Each of the flowing lights carried a strong momentum, making them seem impossible to block. You almost outdid me in terms of offensive power the last time, but it might not be the same this time. Jian Wushuang stared emotionlessly at the golden lights that were flying toward him. His blood mountain sword began to react. Ancient god power poured into the sword, causing it to explode with a mighty power. Jian Wushuang then swiftly thrust it at the man. Just then, the golden thunderbolt on the level 3 of divine Yin thunder poured into his sword. Clang! 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 Following the noise of collisions, Jian Wushuang and the man almost flew backward at the same time. The man was shocked. To think that he managed to rival me in a direct collision. Once again. Jian Wushuang was eager to fight again. He charged at the man as soon as he regained firm footing. Humph! I'm not afraid of you, the man cried. His pupils appeared to be turning red as he threw himself at Jian Wushuang as well. They fought against each other again. Jian Wushuang demonstrated his swordsmanship while the man used his giant hammer. They spared no effort to exercise their powers. Bang! 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 Horrifying explosions resounded one after another, sending shockwaves through the air. The world began to shake, impacting the endless mountains. Some mountains were split into several parts, while others were reduced to dust. Ha! How exciting! Jian Wushuang growled, looking incredibly excited. On the other hand, the man became more frightened as the battle progressed. How is this possible? When we fought 10 years ago, we were equal in speed, but he was much weaker than I was. But now, how did he become strong enough to rival me in just a short time? The man murmured. Most of their battle had revolved around the confrontations between their power and might, with minimal displays of killing moves. Even so, he had collided with Jian Wushuang so many times. How was it that he still did not manage to gain the upper hand in their battle? It's only been a short 10 years. It's not unlike he has become a Dao master, so how did he achieve such great progress? The man was trembling with fear deep inside. Once one arrived at the celestial master level, every improvement in strength was the result of an arduous process. He was one such example, for he had barely improved even after tens of thousands of years. However, Jian Wushuang's offensive power had been greatly enhanced in just 10 years. To make things worse, Jian Wushuang was a mere eternal realm expert. What a monster! Though the man looked at Jian Wushuang coldly, he was already making plans to escape. He abruptly waved his 4 arms and produced an amazing power, strong enough to throw Jian Wushuang backward. He then took the opportunity to retreat and run. He ran. Jian Wushuang stood in place, watching the golden-armored man leave. He had yet to use all of his tricks. For example, he had not completely exercised his speed. However, he knew that he would not be able to kill the man even if he tried his best. In terms of strength, the man has reached the top level among all advanced celestial masters. However, I've reached the level 3 of Divine Yin Thunder, and therefore am stronger in overall strength. Therefore, I can defeat many advanced celestial masters. Jian Wushuang smiled faintly to himself. He never once thought of fighting the golden-armored man to death. He merely wanted a real battle with the man to get an idea of his own strength. He had fought against a burly man with purple hair, an advanced holy master with weak battle strength, but that man escaped soon after the battle began. That left him unsatisfied. However, he was very happy with this battle. Let's keep going. Jian Wushuang continued to fly around the mountains in search of life elixirs. Whoosh! A golden flowing light flitted across the air before stopping on the top of a mountain. It was the man who fought Jian Wushuang earlier. That man was Chu Yang, a famed celestial master of the Jin Kingdom. Out of the many advanced celestial masters in the kingdom, he was strong enough to place 5th. He was absolutely one of the advanced celestial masters in terms of strength. However, his current expression was grave. Jian Wushuang. How did his strength increase so sharply in such a short time? If he continues improving at such a rate, won't he be the next Sunrise Sword Emperor? We must keep a close eye on Jian Wushuang in the future. Therefore, Chu Yang immediately reported this to the high-level experts of the Jin Kingdom. I met a peerless genius from the Green Fire Palace called Jian Wushuang. He seems like a mere eternal realm expert, but he's talented indeed. Perhaps he's using some kind of secret skill to hide his aura. When I met him last time, he used all sorts of skills to fight me but barely escaped with his life intact. Back then, his offensive power was much weaker than mine. 10 years later, when I meet him again today, his offensive power is on par with mine. He has greatly improved his strength. We must kill someone this talented as soon as possible. Otherwise, he might turn out to be a formidable force of the Green Fire Palace. The high-level experts of the Jin Kingdom soon received the news. Concerned as they were, they immediately ordered their experts hiding in the Green Fire world to investigate Jian Wushuang. However, those experts faced a lot of limitations in the Green Fire world. Some of them might have information on Jian Wushuang, but they had few opportunities to deliver their messages as they could not show up in public. Therefore, those high-level experts could not get details of Jian Wushuang so soon. Still, they sent messages to the other experts on the battlefield, requesting them to look out for a sword principal expert in the Eternal Realm and kill him if a chance presented itself. Chapter 11:13, 17 years. Chapter 11:13, 17 years. Jian Wushuang's name eventually came to be known among many Jin Kingdom experts who had been fighting on the battlefield. Isn't Jian Wushuang someone who appears to be a mere expert of sword principle at the level of Eternal Realm? Yet his strength can rival an advanced celestial master, enough to make Chu Yang hold him in high regard. I think he's probably a celestial master. He can't be a mere Eternal Realm expert. Well, the world is full of wonders. He has only reached the level of Eternal Realm, but it's entirely possible that he has come across some great fortune or possessed some special skills that gave him access to greater power. That would explain everything. Everyone had different opinions upon hearing the news about Jian Wushuang. Meanwhile, when the celestial masters from the Jin Kingdom residing in the mountains that contained life elixirs heard the news, their expressions turned grim. Since Jian Wushuang has arrived in this area, it's possible that we'll run into him. We should be careful. 2 medium celestial masters from the Jin Kingdom were discussing Jian Wushuang. You're right. If Chu Yang holds him in high regard, he must be on the same level as Chu Yang. Perhaps he has even surpassed Chu Yang. Considering our strength, we best be on guard if we run into him, one of them said. Of course, there were those who did not take the matter seriously. One vulgar man standing in the middle of mountains sneered. Jian Wushuang. Humph. I don't care if he's in the Eternal Realm. I better not see him or I'll crush him into pieces. Peerless genius. Even with such great talent, he'd be nothing once dead, a graceful girl clad in golden armor said coldly. Jian Wushuang's name became widespread in the Jin Kingdom after high-level leaders spread the news. However, Jian Wushuang was blissfully unaware of it. He continued to explore the area, looking for life elixirs all alone. Occasionally, he would encounter Jin Kingdom experts and would never hesitate to fight and try his best to beat them. Even if he failed, he considered it a chance to practice his swordsmanship through fierce battles. No opponent, except for celestial masters of the exceptional realm or a team of several advanced celestial masters, could threaten him. He was now stronger than ever. In fact, those experts could only hurt him. They would be daydreaming if they thought they could kill him. He was so confident in his strength that he had no qualms about openly flying around the mountains. Before he knew, he had remained in this area for 17 years. In the beginning of his time here, so few experts came to the area that it was highly unlikely for him to run into them. It also gave him a better chance of finding life elixirs. Later on, however, more and more experts arrived. Obviously, it became easier to run into them and thus, the higher the chances of battle. Now, he would essentially encounter an expert a month. He chose to fight each time, given that his opponent was not terribly strong. In the past 17 years, he had fought dozens of fierce battles of varying magnitude in this area but killed only 2 in the process. Even then, it was their arrogance that led them to their death. Besides experience gained from those battles, he also managed to acquire 11 life elixirs. He found 8 life elixirs on his own and obtained the rest from the 2 experts who had been killed off. He could use those elixirs to create 11 celestial masters. If he were to pass them to the Fire Points exchange office, he could get 110,000 Fire Points in return. It was a great harvest for him. While these life elixirs are precious, the experience I gained for my sword principle within these 17 years is far more valuable. Jian Wushuang flew slowly as he talked to Gu King. There was a trace of a smile on his face. He was obviously pleased. Since you've developed 3 Daos of the creation level, your next step is to figure out a way to advance one of them to the strongest level, Gu King said. Jian Wushuang was stunned. The strongest sword principle. Before he entered the battlefield, he had pushed both the coalescence sword principle and speed sword principle to the creation level. The Scarlet Yang sword principle remained at the universe level. However, he had discovered the method to break through into that level when he was in Taiqing Palace. While fighting alone on the battlefield all these years, he had also been meditating and working on the Scarlet Yang sword principle. He fought more Jin Kingdom experts than ever, especially after coming here. As a result, he eventually found the breakthrough for the Scarlet Yang sword principle. Now, this Dao had completely combined Yin and Yang to form the Yin-Yang sword principle. The Yin-Yang sword principle was the last of his Daos to be at the creation level. Not only did the power of his sword principle that he could exercise increase, but his overall strength had also improved significantly. I spent a lot of time and energy advancing the Daos to the creation level. God knows how long it will take if I want to further it to the strongest level. Jian Wushuang laughed while shaking his head. It's essentially difficult to develop the strongest sword principle since one at the creation level can hardly match up to it. Your father entered a secret land and cultivated for 100,000 years to complete this. Moreover, he also has an advantage in having the body of a sword spirit and exceptional talent. You're equally talented, but your cultivation time is still too short. So, take it easy, Gu King said. I'm not too worried about advancing my sword principles, but I won't be able to make a realm breakthrough if I don't develop a strongest sword principle. In fact, I can become a Dao master right away, but I have to suppress it on purpose. It isn't exactly easy for me, Jian Wushuang said with a wry smile. He had long met the requirements of becoming a Dao master, but he was ambitious. He wanted to first develop the strongest sword principle and made it his foundation. Doing so would mean that his potential and strength could go even further in the future. Hang in there. If you want to make progress, you must suppress your own realm. But you needn't worry about it much. You'll be able to break through your bottleneck once any of the 3 sword principles reaches the strongest level, Gu King explained. You only need to make one sword principle your foundation in order to become a Dao master. Once you've made your choice, you won't be able to improve the chosen sword principle anymore, but you can still work on the other 2. Chapter 11:14, A Huge Commotion. Chapter 11:14, A Huge Commotion. Hearing those words, Jian Wushuang nodded in agreement. He was very ambitious. If possible, he wished to advance his 3 sword principles to the strongest level. He could then integrate them and create an unprecedented Dharma body. However, he knew what a challenge it would be. Right now, he only wished to develop the strongest sword principle as his foundation and become a Dao master. His strength would surely skyrocket afterward. That feat was much easier said than done. Take it easy. Jian Wushuang tried to comfort himself. Just as he was stewing in his thoughts. Buzz! Out of nowhere, a mighty aura erupted in the middle of the mountain range. The moment it did, a rich aroma of elixir wafted out and began to fill the area. The celestial masters who were looking for life elixirs in the same area were shocked by the unexpected phenomenon. What happened? The scent is so strong. How did it permeate the entire area? Something big must have happened. Jian Wushuang also caught wind of the situation and his expression immediately turned serious. If I'm not mistaken, it must be the birth of a precious treasure. It could very well be some sort of elixir-related treasure. Go and have a look. Gu King urged in a low voice. Jian Wushuang nodded in response, and then quickly headed toward the source of the scent. Simultaneously, other celestial masters from Green Fire Palace and the Jin Kingdom had also rushed over to the same spot. Everyone knew that a rare treasure must have arrived for it to cause such a commotion. It was likely that the treasure had something to do with the life elixirs that were scattered throughout this area. Undoubtedly, the treasure had sparked the interest of many. The scent could be traced to the center of the mountain range. It took Jian Wushuang 3 days to arrive on the scene. Once there, he was surprised to find that the dense scent showed no signs of dissipating even after so many days. He hovered high above as he overlooked the land before him. The ground had collapsed and sunk in to form a sinkhole. A faint golden light could be seen peeping out of the sinkhole. That was where the smell came from. As expected, a treasure has arrived, Gu King said excitedly. The treasure caused such a huge commotion and its scent hasn't dissipated even after 3 days. I wonder what it is, Jian Wushuang said, looking doubtful. Just then, 3 figures flew toward Jian Wushuang and soon appeared before him. Jian Wushuang greeted them with a smile. Celestial Master Yi, Celestial Master Meng Long, and Celestial Master Jin Chu. My friend, Jian Wushuang, they said with great enthusiasm. They had also rushed over after catching wind of the commotion. They were evidently not far from the sinkhole when they noticed and thus, arrived ahead of him. Did you find any life elixirs after searching this area for so many years? Yi asked. He smiled so widely that his eyes narrowed into slits. Some. What about you? Jian Wushuang asked. We managed to find some in the first few years, but later on. More and more experts came to this area and our chances were lowered. Even if we did manage to find it, other experts would hurry over and fight us for it. Luckily, the 3 of us joined forces in the fights and scraped through them, or else, Yi sighed. Jian Wushuang had nothing else to say for he knew that his friend was telling the truth. In the past 17 years, countless experts joined the search for life elixirs. Battles were unavoidable and they had only gotten more intense over the years. Though the 3 of them could work together, their combined strength was still pretty average compared to other experts in this area. Since you're around the area, do you know what happened in the sinkhole that day? Did a treasure appear? Jian Wushuang asked. The treasure did appear, but it's still in the early stage of incubation, so it's buried within. 2 hours ago, a Green Fire Palace expert broke into the sinkhole out of curiosity. He couldn't see anything except a dazzling golden light. When he tried to approach the golden light, a defensive barrier stopped him, Yi answered. What? Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up with surprise. A golden light? A barrier? Since the treasure is protected by a defensive barrier, it can only mean that it is controlled by some spirit. Judging from the rich aroma of elixir, the treasure is likely a palace treasure for storing elixirs, Gu King replied. Jian Wushuang immediately understood his explanation. It's the same for Jin Kingdom experts. In the end, everyone came to the same conclusion that we should just wait patiently for the actual birth of the treasure. Once it's completely revealed, we will then fight for it, Meng Long added. Alright, let's just wait for it. Jian Wushuang had no choice but to hover around and quietly await the birth of the treasure with his friends. Before they knew it, a month had gone by just like that. During this period, the scent of the elixir that emitted from the bottom of the sinkhole never once dissipated. The entire area was still saturated with the mighty aura. But the treasure in the sinkhole had yet to be revealed. In addition, experts from both Green Fire Palace and the Jin Kingdom, who were previously looking for life elixirs, had all came forth to gather around the sinkhole. Everyone stayed put and quietly anticipated the birth of the treasure. There are so many experts here. Jian Wushuang could feel the different intense auras drifting in the air within his field of consciousness. From what he could tell, there were over 30 celestial masters here. His field of consciousness was limited as he was only in the eternal realm. It could vaguely cover certain areas near the sinkhole but not anything further than that. Fortunately, Jian Wushuang had the token of Green Fire Palace. With that, he could clearly know the number of their allies in the area. There's a total of 42 experts from Green Fire Palace in this area? Jian Wushuang was stunned. They were all celestial masters. Moreover, he was counting only his allies. The Jin Kingdom would always have the upper hand in the battle if they were to fight against Green Fire Palace. Obviously, they would have even more experts on their side. That meant there were more than 42 experts from the Jin Kingdom here. Chapter 11:15, Birth. Chapter 11:15, Birth. I've received news that Celestial Master Yin Tong of the Green Fire World is now somewhere near the sinkhole, Celestial Master Yi suddenly said. Celestial Master Yin Tong. He's here too. Celestial Master Meng Long's eyes widened. Celestial Master Yin Tong is an expert in the exceptional realm. Coupled with the arrival of Celestial Master Qing Lang and Celestial Master An, there are 3 experts in the exceptional realm from the Green Fire Palace who have rushed here. Celestial Master Jin Chu exclaimed in awe. Experts in the exceptional realm were the most powerful out of all celestial masters. The possibility for these experts reaching the level of Holy Master was very low. For example, there were not even 10 of such experts among all the celestial masters in the Green Fire Palace. Yet, 3 of them have now come here. Since the Green Fire Palace has sent so many experts here, the Jin Kingdom won't be losing out either. I'm sure it'll be a massive chaos once the treasure is born and the fight begins. Yi said. Jian Wushuang looked exceptionally grim after hearing those words. He could already see the pandemonium when experts from both sides began battling for the treasure. Didn't this battle come just at the right timing for you, Jian Wushuang? Gu King suddenly said. The right timing? What do you mean? Jian Wushuang replied, flabbergasted. Weren't you discriminated against in the Green Fire Palace? Most experts of the palace reject you. If you want them to sincerely accept you the way they accept Yi and Meng Long, you need to prove your worth through earth-shattering success on the battlefield or even a bloody massacre. The upcoming battle will be your best chance to prove yourself. Gu King said. Jian Wushuang's pupils shrank after hearing Gu King's words. He was indeed suffering discrimination in the Green Fire Palace because of his mother. Even Yi and Meng Long didn't like him before. It was only after his display of absolute strength that both of them gained a newfound respect for him. Evidently, power spoke the loudest no matter where one was in the world. It was the same for Yi and Meng Long, as were the other celestial masters in the Green Fire Palace. You're right. This upcoming battle is a golden opportunity to prove myself. Jian Wushuang clasped his hands tightly. That's the spirit. You're now much stronger now that your 3 sword principles are now in the creation level. Your swordsmanship is so strange and unpredictable too. If you try your best to kill your enemies, you'll definitely be a terrifying force. The paralyzing effect you'll have on your opponent will be significant too, enough to make those celestial masters of the Green Fire Palace look at you in a new light, Gu King said with a laugh. I understand. Jian Wushuang's eyes turned razor-sharp. The 2 groups of experts from the Green Fire Palace and the Jin Kingdom were both quietly waiting near the sinkhole. Out of nowhere. Boom! The aura that filled the air was already boundless and majestic in the first place, but at this moment, it once again increased sharply. The golden light at the bottom of the sinkhole became increasingly dazzling. Kaboom! The ground shook uncontrollably and the intensity only increased as time passed. The treasure is about to born. The numerous experts who were waiting near the sinkhole became agitated, their intense gazes focused on the inside of the sinkhole. While the ground was still shaking, a towering golden palace slowly rose from within the bottom of the sinkhole until it left the sinkhole altogether to go up to the void above. There were 2 golden words hanging above the main entrance of the majestic golden palace. Loyalty Palace. The rich cinnabar fragrance, as well as the aura that pervaded the atmosphere, originated from this palace. The experts' eyes turned heated the moment they saw the palace, and all of them rushed toward it at an astonishing speed in the following second. The whole world erupted into a chaos. "Hurry! We should go over there as well," Yi cried as he immediately ran. "Stay calm." Jian Wushuang waved his hand to stop Yi. "What's wrong?" Yi, Meng Long, and Jin Chu frowned at him. "This loyalty palace isn't to be trifled with." "Look," Jian Wushuang said. The 3 of them turned to look at the palace and saw a layer of pale golden restriction stopping the experts from entering. One of the experts tried to hack the layer of restriction open. However, the restriction showed no sign of budging no matter if he tried alone or went at it with other experts. There was nothing they could do but helplessly wait outside the palace. "What's going on? The treasure is already born. Why is there still a layer of restriction? We can't break open the restriction." The experts all felt vexed. Gu King, who resided inside Jian Wushuang, chuckled. "There's a spirit inside the palace as expected, and it's controlling the layer of restriction. I'm sure that no one can enter without its permission." "No one can enter? Does that mean all our work will be in vain?" Jian Wushuang frowned. "Don't worry, now that the spirit shows up at this point and caused much stir, it must bear its own intentions. Just wait and see what happens," Gu King said. "All right." Jian Wushuang gave a small nod before glancing at the 3 celestial masters next to him. "Let's go." The 4 of them immediately went up to the palace. The majestic and towering loyalty palace suspended quietly in the void with its pale golden layer of restriction stretching around it for 100 miles, barricading against the numerous experts from both camps. The experts from both camps looked at each other in dismay. Just then, crash! The main entrance of the palace opened. The expressions of the experts barricaded outside changed as they stared into the interior of the palace through its open doors. Their pupils rapidly shrunk when they saw what was inside. Pellets of red-colored elixir were hovering in the air in the pitch-black darkness inside the palace. These pellets emanated a faint scent of blood. These were none other than the life elixirs. Chapter 11:16, Chaos. Chapter 11:16, Chaos. The life elixir was what these experts from both the Green Fire Palace and the Jin Kingdom had been wantonly searching this area for all these years. They had amassed a considerable amount of life medicine pellets after more than 10 years of searching. Thus, if what they saw inside the Loyalty Palace was several or even dozens of life medicine pellets, they wouldn't show such a reaction. The fact was that there were more than hundreds of life elixir inside. The number of life elixirs inside was enough to produce hundreds of celestial masters. To think that they would appear all at the same time. The gazes of the experts on both camps turned heated. If the Green Fire Palace obtains all those life medicine pellets, we can increase our strength significantly. Celestial Master Yi's gaze turned burning hot. 1 life medicine pellet is equivalent to 10,000 fire points. That means there are millions of fire points inside, Celestial Master Meng Long said, licking his lips. "We must try our best to take them all," Celestial Master Jin Chu said passionately. Jian Wushuang stood outside the layer of restriction, observing everyone, including the 3 celestial masters with him, with a grave expression. Suddenly, the hundreds of life medicine pellets hovering quietly inside the Loyalty Palace turned into flowing lights that projected in all directions. It was as if an unknown force had triggered their change. The pellets shot out at the same time at a high speed, penetrating the layer of restriction and appearing directly in front of the experts outside. Their hearts thumped violently when they saw this sight. In a split second. Grab them. Hurry up and grab them. Oh God, there are so many life elixirs. They're mine. They're all mine. The entire world erupted into chaos. Mad. Both camps had gone truly mad. There was an outbreak of strong and ferocious Celestial Masters' auras as they took out their own magic weapons and joined the fight. Celestial Masters Yi, Meng Long, and Jin Chu became frenzied as well. Be careful, you three. Jian Wushuang warned them. The Blood Mountain sword was already in his hand as he eyed the 2 pellets of life medicine closest to him. In the next second, he dashed forward like an eagle swooping in from the sky above and arrived in front of the pellets. There were 2 Jin Kingdom experts who had their eyes on the same pellets as well. One was an advanced-level Celestial Master, while the other was a medium-level Celestial Master. Eternal Realm Aura. He's Jian Wushuang. The 2 Jin Kingdom experts recognized Jian Wushuang at once. Humph. So what if your strength rivals Chu Yang's? The 2 of us still killed him anyway, the cold, severe-looking young man with a fire cloud pattern between his brows shouted. Well said. The girl with bluish-green hair nodded heavily. The 3 of them had appeared in front of the 2 pellets of life elixir at the same time. The cold, severe-looking young man held a large and malevolent scarlet scythe. Bloody clouds surged in his body as he emanated a boundless and bloody aura. The fire cloud pattern between his brows radiated a dazzling light. He threw his scarlet scythe with a swing swift of his right hand. The sickle streaked the void as if it had traveled through a long, endless river of blood. The sickle arrived in front of Jian Wushuang in no time. Scram! Jian Wushuang roared, feeling the ancient god power pour into his body in the Blood Mountain sword in his hand breaking out with overwhelming might. He thrust his sword. This strong thrust carried the might of no less than 3 sword principles of creation level. It abruptly burst in power under the support of the blood-killing plate armor. Clang! The sound of collision resounded loudly. The long, endless river of blood immediately dispersed. The powerful collision also flung the scarlet scythe, directly impaling the cold and severe-looking young man. Pfft! Blood sprayed from the young man's mouth and his expression immediately turned deathly pale. Just then, a strange sword shadow appeared behind Jian Wushuang out of the blue. The icy-cold sword light carried a ravaging aura as if it was a spirit serpent sliding through the void. It flew toward Jian Wushuang in a bid to pierce his skull. You're seeking death. Jian Wushuang's eyes glinted when he detected the cold gale blowing behind him. Without even bothering to glance at what was behind him, he swung his sword in a casual manner. Buzz! The moment a faint sword echo reverberated, the girl with bluish-green hair who used a strange swordsmanship to ambush Jian Wushuang had already encountered a terrifying consciousness attack. The girl was merely a medium-level celestial master with a fairly weak consciousness. She immediately sank into a state of muddle-headedness. Jian Wushuang's beautiful and shrill sword killed her without the least bit of resistance. What? He's that strong. The young man who was heavily injured after being flung away by the collision was deeply shocked. Jian Wushuang had severely hurt him with a single sword strike and then casually killed another medium-level celestial master with another sword strike. This sort of strength was clearly one realm beyond a typical advanced-level celestial master. After killing the girl with bluish-green hair, Jian Wushuang grabbed the 2 pellets of life elixir as well as the girl's interspatial ring. He then rested his cold gaze on the young man. You're going to die as well. His killing intent surged high into the sky. He arrived in front of the young man with a single step and violently thrust his Blood Mountain sword. Bladed Surge. He unleashed his terrifying killing move that contained secret strength. Oh no! The expression of the cold and severe-looking young man changed drastically. He brandished his blood-red sickle to try and block Jian Wushuang's sword. Clang! Yet came another loud collision. Jian Wushuang struck the young man so hard that the latter sank. The young man felt his arm numbing, but before he could do anything about it, the second layer of power hidden in the bladed surge exploded. The second layer of power hit the wide-eyed young man with basically zero resistance. Disbelief colored the young man's eyes as he breathed his last. With a swing of Jian Wushuang's large hand, he grabbed the young man's interspatial ring as well. Though it felt like some time had passed, he took less than the time it took for him to take a single breath. Yet, in that short span of time, an advanced level and a medium-level celestial master of the Jin Kingdom died in his hands. Chapter 1117, Massacre. Chapter 1117, Massacre. That fast? How is that possible? The Jin Kingdom experts were all deeply shocked after witnessing how Jian Wushuang killed the cold and severe-looking young man and the girl with bluish-green hair. In fact, they barely had any time to react to how quickly and effortlessly Jian Wushuang killed an advanced level and a medium-level celestial master. His eyes were steely and his killing intent was still strong. In the next second, he was once again displaying his power. He appeared behind a Jin Kingdom expert. The expert was a genuine advanced-level celestial master who had just obtained 1 pellet of life elixir. 2 Green Fire Palace experts were currently besieging him and cornering him into a rather pathetic state. Out of the blue. Die! The expert turned his head when he heard Jian Wushuang's roar. The only thing he saw was a dazzling sword light that was as slow as a snail. Even so, he felt as if he had no way of dodging it. Simultaneously, Jian Wushuang launched a terrifying consciousness attack against the expert. His killing intent also charged at the expert. The consciousness of this advanced-level celestial master was not that strong in the first place. Coupled with the fact that he was facing Jian Wushuang's sudden ambush, his consciousness instantly turned sluggish. That sluggishness gave the sword light the opportunity to pierce his throat and crush his life core. In the blink of an eye, another advanced-level celestial master had fallen. Everyone, including the 2 Green Fire Palace experts who had been working together to besiege the celestial master, was stupefied. That's an advanced-level celestial master, not some subpar trash. But he's dead in just the blink of an eye. How can he be that strong? Even if he's a celestial master in the exceptional realm, how could he so easily kill an advanced-level celestial master? He did it with a consciousness attack. Jian Wushuang's consciousness attack is incredibly terrifying. Startled and furious voices came one after another from experts of both the Green Fire Palace and the Jin Kingdom. Jian Wushuang, my friend. Celestial Masters Yi, Meng Long, and Jin Chu were equally stunned. They did have some idea of Jian Wushuang's strength, but 17 years ago, he was only capable of defeating an advanced-level celestial master with ease. Yet now, it was like mere child's play for him to kill the advanced-level celestial master. Compared to his level of strength 17 years ago, he was now evidently much stronger. He has become stronger, so much stronger at that. Yi sighed. He's really a monster. Celestial Masters Meng Long and Jin Chu could not help themselves from exclaiming in admiration. It was utter chaos on the battlefield as the experts put their lives on the line to obtain some of the hundreds of pellets of life elixir. The lofty Celestial Masters who were rarely seen in the Green Fire Palace most days had thrown all of their esteem out of the window to fight for the life medicine. In a matter of minutes, more than 10 Celestial Masters from both camps had died. 8 of them were from the Jin Kingdom, with 3 dead by Jian Wushuang's hands. Kill! Jian Wushuang cried, his killing intent surging high. The dazzling and shrill sword light once again flared. Be careful. It's Jian Wushuang. Be careful of his consciousness attack. Here comes Jian Wushuang. Hurry up and run. Wherever Jian Wushuang went, he left behind a trail of cries and screams. Ever since his three-sword principles were promoted to the level of creation level, his overall strength had increased sharply. Compared to 17 years ago, he was now a whole realm stronger. With his current power, he would be on par with a celestial master in the exceptional realm if he used full force. More importantly, his swordsmanship was unusual. His sheer shadow swordsmanship a consciousness attack that was unimaginably swift and imbued with killing intent. Once he swung his saber, nothing but death awaited medium-level celestial masters with an ordinary consciousness. Even among advanced-level celestial masters, there was a portion of them who were relatively weak. If they were confronted with Jian Wushuang's consciousness attack, they would be greatly affected as well. Once their reaction slowed by just a beat, they would also die in his hands. The experts from the Jin Kingdom who had witnessed firsthand the ferocity of Jian Wushuang's consciousness attack began guarding against such attacks. However, even with sufficient mental preparation, it was difficult to block such attacks. Die. Kill. Jian Wushuang's gaze was razor-sharp as he showed the Jin Kingdom experts, who were wrestling with the Green Fire Palace experts, no mercy. He moved so swiftly that his body was a blur as he weaved through the crowd, switching between grabbing the pellets of life elixir near him, killing the Jin Kingdom experts, and helping fellow Green Fire Palace experts who had fallen into peril. Jian Wushuang displayed the full extent of his power. He was like a storm that swept through the battlefield, leaving behind skeletons in his wake. The blade of his blood mountain sword had been dyed red. This was a massacre. This could even be described as a ruthless slaughter. This slaughter caused many experts on the battlefield to tremble in fear. Of course, this frenetic slaughter soon drew the attention of all the Jin Kingdom experts. They watched a peer in the exception realm closest to them fall to the ground. Don't be hasty, young one. The one who spoke was a tall and sturdy old man wearing a similar golden armor. He was armed with a heavy sword that was a whopping 10 Chinese feet long and carried an unthinkable weight. When the old man swung such a massive sword, he caused an outbreak of a gale with the sword. The sword was like a tsunami, sweeping Jian Wushuang from the front with a violent force. He's a celestial master in the exceptional realm? Jian Wushuang's eyes glinted and his mouth curved into a bloodthirsty smile as he took a step forward. The moment he took the step, he immediately lifted the sword in his hand. Simultaneously, the old man lifted his heavy sword and swung it at Jian Wushuang at once. The sword movement with the strongest offensive power. Earth-shattering. Clang. The terrifying sound of an explosion rang out in the middle of the battlefield. The aftermath of their collision rapidly swept their surroundings, forcing the celestial masters near them to retreat. The collision threw Jian Wushuang off, forcing him several steps backward. This is indeed a celestial master in the exceptional realm. What formidable strength! Excitement flitted across Jian Wushuang's eyes, not at all discouraged despite being at an absolute disadvantage. Once he regained firm footing, he once again charged at the old man. Die, young one. The murderous desire in the tall and sturdy old man's eyes was overwhelming as he once again thrust his heavy sword. Die, young one. The murderous desire in the tall and sturdy old man's eyes was overpowering as he once again thrust the heavy sword in his hand. The two of them once again collided. Clang! 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 The resulting explosions caused frightening, ear-splitting booms, the madness spreading everywhere. In the middle of the battlefield, Jian Wushuang and the old man confronted each other head-on. The moment the two of them began fighting, their battle was already at its climax. Chapter 11:18, Massacre for Military Glory. Chapter 11:18, Massacre for Military Glory. A frenetic massacre unfolded on the battlefield. There were too many experts who had been drawn here by the birth of the Loyalty Palace. 42 alone came from the Green Fire Palace. There were even more who hailed from the Jin Kingdom. Experts from both camps summed up to more than 100 celestial master experts. They all participated in this chaotic battle. There was already a deep grudge between the two camps in the first place. Naturally, their battle was even more ferocious. Moreover, the number of life medicine pellets was only a little over 100. Many of the celestial masters got their hands on them with minimal effort after they flew out of the Loyalty Palace. Now that all the pellets were gone, the ferocious battle gradually subsided. On the battlefield, experts from both camps had mostly stopped fighting. There were only two figures clashing fiercely in the middle of the battlefield. These two were none other than Jian Wushuang and the tall and sturdy old man who was a celestial master in the exceptional realm. Someone whose battle prowess had reached Jian Wushuang's level would naturally be incredibly swift. In the blink of an eye, he and the old man had already exchanged hundreds of blows. Clang! Once again, an earth-shattering collision resounded. It was only then that the two of them finally separated from each other. Jian Wushuang hovered high up in the void, his breath still boundless and his battle intent overwhelming. His eyes glinted as he stared at the tall and sturdy old man. The old man's face finally turned a little pale and there was even a faint blood stain on the corner of his mouth. In his eyes were unbridled anger. When the experts from both camps saw this, they were deeply stunned. How is this possible? That's a celestial master in the exceptional realm. Jian Wushuang managed to hurt him without getting injured himself. How is this possible? This must be a joke. The celestial masters of the Green Fire Palace were all dumbfounded. They were all familiar with Jian Wushuang and knew that when he first arrived, he possessed the battle prowess of a medium-level celestial master. However, they were hostile to him because of his mother. Yet now, it hadn't even been that long since he first arrived in the Green Fire Palace. Was a celestial master in the exceptional realm also helpless against him? Even a celestial master in the exceptional realm was injured after a battle with him? Impossible. The Jin Kingdom experts were also astonished and in great disbelief. This damn junior. The tall and sturdy old man trembled as fiery hatred burned in his eyes. He felt incredibly sullen. Yes, he was sullen. If Jian Wushuang had depended solely on his strength to injure him, then he must admit that Jian Wushuang's strength was above his. However, the clincher was that Jian Wushuang's strength wasn't at all above his. Jian Wushuang was indeed weaker than him. Even Jian Wushuang himself conceded this point. Even though his strength had increased sharply ever since he elevated his three-sword principles to the creation level, it was barely enough to put him on par with a celestial master in the exceptional realm. In a true battle, he was most certainly at a disadvantage. Even though he has tried his best in the fierce battle with the robust elder, he was still at a disadvantage. The reason for such a development was because Jian Wushuang still insisted on confronting the old man who was putting everything on the line. In a head-on collision, the old man was naturally unafraid. In their exchange of blows, the aftermath of their attacks was equally devastating and affected them both. The only difference was that the old man received far less impact from the aftershock. However, Jian Wushuang's defensive measures defied heaven itself. Even though the aftershock was incredibly powerful, it couldn't injure him in the slightest. On the other hand, the comparatively lighter aftershock that the old man suffered ended up hurting him. This brat is clearly weaker than me, but his defense is far superior to mine, the burly old man muttered, clasping his hands. The battlefield came to a complete standstill after Jian Wushuang and the burly old man ceased fighting. The two camps of experts began determining their respective losses, as well as that of their enemies. The Jin Kingdom experts flew into a rage once they found their answer. Impossible. How could this happen? There were more than 60 experts from our Jin Kingdom, we have at least 20 more than the Green Fire Palace. The quality of our experts is better too. Logically speaking, we clearly had the upper hand and the number of our fallen peers should be lower than theirs. Yet why did our Jin Kingdom lose so many celestial masters? Another celestial master in the exceptional realm from the Jin Kingdom roared. Other Jin Kingdom experts experienced the same level of fury. On the other side, the Green Fire Palace experts were stupefied. Under ordinary circumstances, their side ought to suffer more devastating results than the Jin Kingdom. However, reality proved differently. After a quick calculation, they determined that they had lost 13 celestial masters. This was most certainly a great loss for them. The loss of the Jin Kingdom was somehow greater. They had lost more than 29 celestial masters. One more and that would make up a whopping 30 of them. How did it turn out this way? Just what exactly is going on? Voices imbued with anger came from the group of Jin Kingdom experts. In the next moment, they all turned to look at the young man who wore a blood-soaked robe and carried a scarlet long sword, Jian Wushuang. It's him. It's Jian Wushuang. It's him who bulldozed through the battlefield and ruthlessly slaughtered our experts. I was near him earlier and saw very clearly how he, from the beginning of the battle, mercilessly slaughtered some 20 of our celestial master experts. Had old Wu not stopped him, I don't know how many more of our experts would die in his hands. He's the reason why we're suffering such a massive loss. Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang. It's all because of him. It's this bastard who single-handedly exterminated 20 of our Jin Kingdom experts in a short time. Furious glares, one after another, burned upon Jian Wushuang. These angry remarks dumbfounded the Green Fire Palace experts. Single-handedly exterminated 20 of the Jin Kingdom experts in a short time. Jian Wushuang did that. Jian Wushuang's robe billowed in the air and his already red blood mountain sword turned a darker shade after absorbing all of his enemy's blood. There was still blood dripping from the tip of the sword blade. On his handsome and cold face was a pair of steely eyes. The killing aura that enveloped him remained as overpowering as ever. From today onward, your name will strike fear in both the Green Fire Palace and Jin Kingdom experts. Gu Qing's solemn voice resounded inside Jian Wushuang's heart. You've developed your reputation from this ruthless massacre. Your massacre today will certainly be a bloody myth in the Green Fire Palace. Chapter 1119, Nirvana Elixir. Chapter 1119, Nirvana Elixir. A bloody myth. Jian Wushuang shook his head. But that's not what I want. All I want is to let them accept me. Well, in that case, you've succeeded. Gu Qing smiled. Jian Wushuang looked around and found those Green Fire Palace experts all look thoughtful. He's so strong, is that really Jian Wushuang? I heard that he's only been cultivating for more than 2,000 years. He actually has increased his strength to a level like this in such a short time, incredible. His father Nan is already formidable, however, Nan has been cultivating for 100,000 years in a secret land. Jian Wushuang may be lesser than his father, but just a little. But when it comes to cultivation time, his one is really short. Celestial masters from Green Fire Palace were all murmuring. They had finally been convinced of Jian Wushuang's potentials. Maybe, Jian Wushuang would grow someday to complete his mother's mission and become a real leader of Green Fire Palace. At that time. Buzz! Behind the open doors of the restriction-covered Loyalty Palace, deep purple lights shot out. It turned out that the 6 lights came from 6 deep blue pigeon egg-sized elixirs. The 6 elixirs were emitting an inviting fragrance. Anyone that smelled them could not help be lost in the aroma. All the people shifted their gaze on the 6 deep purple elixirs. Those elixirs. Most of the celestial masters from both parties failed to recognize the 6 elixirs, including those who had a profound knowledge of elixirs. They all frowned in doubt. Inside Jian Wushuang, Gu Qing just smiled at the sight of them. This will be fun. Gu Qing, do you know what that is? asked Jian Wushuang. Of course. Gu King smirked. Didn't I tell you that life elixir is worthless in the eternal chaotic world and so many other elixirs exceed it? What you're looking at right now is the Nirvana elixir that exceeds the life elixir. Nirvana elixir? Jian Wushuang could not hold back his surprise. As the name suggested, it can help celestial masters take the most important step to transform themselves. Gu King explained. Take the most important step. You mean they can reach the Samsara Temple master level with it? Jian Wushuang goggled. Yes, they can. But it's not as effective as life elixir. Normally, the medicine will increase the success rate by 3/10. Gu King laughed. 3/10? Jian Wushuang gasped. To reach the level where Void Temple Master, Samsara Temple Master, and Tang Emperor are at. Green Fire World had been in existence for 40 million years. In the wide battlefield, there had only been one expert who crossed that level and numerous celestial masters. That most important step to a celestial master was like ancient world to eternal world. The gap was too big. No matter in Green Fire Palace or the Jin Kingdom, even in the eternal chaotic world, many celestial masters must have been trying to break through during their entire lives. And the Nirvana elixir could increase the success rate by 3/10. How great was that? Even if it was just 1/10 possibility, Jian Wushuang thought, celestial masters would scramble for it. In the eternal chaotic world, Nirvana elixir doesn't count as something extraordinary. But in Green Fire World, it's something precious. Even the Jin Kingdom will take it seriously. Of course, it's of no use to you. Gu King continued. Understood. Jian Wushuang nodded slightly, still staring at the elixirs. It might be of no use to him, but would be useful to Green Fire Palace. If he could obtain all 6 of them, unexpectedly, Green Fire Palace would have 2 more palace masters, which would bring their battle strength to an unprecedented level. The puzzled experts started to recognize the elixirs as well. Nirvana elixir in the legend? The crowd gasped and finally recognized the elixirs. All of a sudden, their eyes were filled with greed. In the eyes of most celestial masters, madness revealed. They became much crazier than when they saw several hundreds of life elixirs. After all, life elixir was only useful to Tao masters. They actually did not benefit from it. They only did it for their camps. However, Nirvana elixir was completely another story. Nirvana elixir could help them take the step they had longed for. It was such an enticement to them. Get ready, eyes on the 6 Nirvana elixir. When they're thrown out, we must do everything to get them. A black-robed woman in the Green Fire Palace camp shouted. She was Celestial Master and of Green Fire Palace. Green Fire Palace had sent 3 Celestial Masters in Exceptional Realm, one of them was Celestial Masterin. Moreover, she was the strongest one of the 3. Everyone was staring at the 6 deep purple elixirs. Suddenly, one of the 6 elixirs transformed to a streak of purple flowing light and charged forward. The purple light shot through the restriction and floated among the crowd. Seeing the floating light, the entire battlefield got into chaos. Get them! Fast! We must get them! Shouts burst out in the crowd. Then, they dived into a fight scrambling for the elixirs. Both camps had gone truly mad, fighting each other for Nirvana elixir. However, in a moment, the battle was over. Chapter 1120, 3 Elixirs. Chapter 1120, 3 Elixirs. Humph. A snort came with mighty aura. Like a storm, it stopped many experts. Clad in gold armor, a middle-aged man stood in the center. There was a red thunder-shaped mark on his forehead. He held a double-edged giant axe, surrounded by crimson clouds like a war god. In his other hand, it was the deep purple elixir, Nirvana elixir. Damn it! He's got it! He's got the first Nirvana elixir. Celestial Masters of Green Fire Palace all gritted their teeth at the sight of this. Jian Wushuang felt regretful as well. The elixir had stopped at a distant place. The moment he reached there, the fight was already over. It fell into the hands of the middle-aged man. The man who carried a giant axe was a celestial master in exceptional realm from the Jin kingdom. He was actually more capable than the strong elder that Jian Wushuang had fought. He had got hold of the elixir, and no one dared to mess with him. After all, none of them was confident to kill him. It's just the first one of the 6 Nirvana elixirs. Green Fire Palace experts comforted themselves and looked back at Dan Xian Palace. In the void of the temple, floated the remaining 5 elixirs. Subsequently, a streak of purple light flashed, then, 2 deep purple lights shot out. Following the first 1 elixir, 2 more elixirs were thrown out in different directions. One of them stopped near Jian Wushuang. Grab them! Jian Wushuang darted directly to the nearby Nirvana elixir. As the elixir flew out of the restriction, a nearby Jin Kingdom expert rushed forward, trying to take it. However, a sharp long spear that seemed to crumble the world emerged out of the blue. What is that? An exclamation escaped the expert. He was just a medium celestial master, but the long spear had come from a celestial master in exceptional realm. Moreover, the spear had been very fast. The expert was extinguished before he could act. Then, a giant hand grabbed the Nirvana elixir. The flowing light died down, and a figure appeared. It was a slim young man, dressed in bronze armor, which was emitting a mighty aura. Apparently, he was wearing a strong protective treasure. Celestial Master Green Wolf. With a hearty smile, Jian Wushuang appeared in the nearby void, carrying his Blood Mountain sword. Jian Wushuang. The young man was another celestial master in exceptional realm. He smiled. The Jin Kingdom experts won't let me off easily, help me. Understood. Jian Wushuang nodded. Although coveted, they soon withdrew in face of Jian Wushuang, Celestial Master Green Wolf, and other helping Green Fire Palace Celestial Masters. Boom! In a distant void, an overwhelmingly strong power burst out. In the void, Dark Celestial Master was pushed backward carrying her 2 long spears. In front of her was a plump bald teenager. He held a golden machete with immense killing intent. Celestial Master, and, unfortunately, you can't beat me. The bald teenager shouted as he put a Nirvana elixir into his interspatial ring. Celestial Master N's face went red with anger but did nothing. There had been many experts from both palaces for the elixirs. But generally speaking, the Jin Kingdom was better. They had sent for celestial masters in exceptional realm, and the bald teenager was the only one she feared. She fought him and lost. Her elixir was also taken. Well, at least we get one. Celestial Master N let out a sigh of relief, looking in the direction of Jian Wushuang and Celestial Master Green Wolf. There had been 3 Nirvana elixirs, and they at least got one. If they had not gotten anyone, that would be a total failure. There are 3 left. I believe they'll be throwing out at the same time. We'll get 2 of them at least. Celestial Master N snorted coldly. With 2 more Nirvana elixirs, they would obtain the half of the 6, which was reasonable. The last 3. On the battlefield, all of them were staring at the remaining floating Nirvana elixirs, with eyes wide open. Then, as expected, all 3 of them were thrown out at one time. They were shot in the same direction. Both camps were stunned. 3 in on direction. All of them. That means we can 3 at one time. The present celestial masters were all agitated and rushed in the direction of the 3 elixirs. A scarlet-robed figure was standing in that direction. When he saw the 3 Nirvana elixirs were darting toward him, Jian Wushuang was shocked too. Among the previous 3 elixirs, the first one was too far away and he did not even get a chance. The second and third one shot out together. He managed to help Celestial Master Green Wolf obtain one of them. But never did he expect that the last 3 all darted toward him. Shocked, Jian Wushuang still managed to open his palm and caught the 3 streaks of purple flowing lights. He was holding the 3 Nirvana elixirs. Chapter 1121, Selfish. Chapter 1121, Selfish. I just got 3 of them like that. Jian Wushuang still could not believe his luck when he put them into his interspatial ring. Jian Wushuang, not so soon. You get the elixirs, the Jin Kingdom experts won't let you off. Gu King reminded. Jian Wushuang looked grave. He looked around and sensed numerous eyes burning with greed. Most of them belonged to the Jin Kingdom experts. Kill. Die. Almost simultaneously, 2 figures in gold armors appeared beside Jian Wushuang out of nowhere. They came directly at him. They were the nearest to Jian Wushuang and were the first to attack him. Since when do medium celestial masters think they can kill me? Jian Wushuang smirked and drew his blood mountain sword, with killing intent in his eyes. Clang! A low echo of sword rang. A sword light was formed out of nowhere. Anyone who saw it would find it extremely beautiful, sorrowful, and hypnotic at the same time. At that moment, many Jin Kingdom experts squinted. That swordsmanship again. He used that swordsmanship to kill nearly 20 celestial masters of ours. Careful, consciousness attack. Some Jin Kingdom expert reminded. However, it was too late. The 2 attacking celestial masters were already in a trance and were beheaded by the beautifully sorrowful sword light. The 2 medium celestial masters were killed in moments. Bastard! His killing 2 experts made other Jin Kingdom celestial masters more furious. Their killing intense grew intenser. Jian Wushuang, this way. A woman's shout rang over the battlefield to Jian Wushuang. He immediately looked into the distance and found Celestial Master and rushing toward him. Besides, many Green Fire Palace experts had stopped some of them Jin Kingdom experts. Moreover, some capable experts were also dashing toward him. Celestial Master and is formidable. As long as I'm with her, the Jin Kingdom can't touch me. Jian Wushuang squinted and made the decision. Immediately, he dashed toward her. All the Jin Kingdom experts in the way tried to stop him. At the same time, their celestial masters dived toward Jian Wushuang. You can't run. A thunderous shout rang in Jian Wushuang's ears. It was the strong elder whom he had fought that stopped him, wielding his heavy sword. You again. Jian Wushuang's countenance slightly changed. The strong elder was a real-deal celestial master in exceptional realm and exceeded him in strength. Well, I failed to stop you last time. This time, you can't escape. The elder snorted and brandished his heavy sword at Jian Wushuang again, overwhelmingly. Ridiculous. Jian Wushuang sneered and wielded his blood mountain sword as well. Crash. The 2 clashed and Jian Wushuang was immediately defeated back. However, by the force, Jian Wushuang managed to sail through the void and got away from the elder. Slick. The elder was both shocked and furious. Then, he rushed toward Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang, hand out Nirvana elixirs, or, prepare to die. A sudden roar reverberated in the space as a giant and powerful axe shadow emerged in front of Jian Wushuang. The axe shadow seemed to be able to shatter the world, even Jian Wushuang felt that he might fail to ward it off. The axe belonged to the middle-aged man with a thunder-like mark between his brows. He was the one who got the first Nirvana elixir. Another one? Jian Wushuang's expression changed. He performed Heaven's Bane in his full strength. Whoosh! 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 As Jian Wushuang darted backward, many other Jin Kingdom experts rushed toward him. Damn! Jian Wushuang's face darkened. Jian Wushuang, quickly, give me the 3 elixirs. I'm good at defense. Even if I'm besieged, I can protect them until Celestial Master An arrives, shouted Celestial Master Green Wolf, who had caught up with Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang, pass the elixirs to Celestial Master Green Wolf. Celestial Master An in the distance also urged. However, hearing Celestial Master An, Jian Wushuang furrowed his brows and shook his head. Celestial Master Green Wolf, help block 1 Celestial Master in Exceptional Realm for me. Jian Wushuang asked in a low voice. What? Celestial Master Green Wolf's countenance changed. Under such circumstances, Jian Wushuang really should pass the elixir to Celestial Master Green Wolf. The latter could keep them until Celestial Master An arrives. Why did he refuse? Doesn't he trust me? Or does he think that I'll take all the credit? Celestial Master Green Wolf was both shocked and angry. Stupid, stupid. Celestial Master Green Wolf roared in his heart. Nirvana elixir is important to our Green Fire Palace. How can he be so selfish at this time? If he insists and let the Gene Kingdom experts take them away, that'll be terrible. He'll become the sinner of Green Fire Palace. Celestial Master Green Wolf was furiously in doubt. Other Green Fire Palace experts were all shocked. How daring he is. Green Wolf is right beside him, why doesn't he pass the elixirs? What does he want? At this time, he's actually thinking for his own benefits. He doesn't trust Celestial Master Green Wolf and is not willing to hand it over. Other Green Fire Palace experts appeared angry. In their eyes, Jian Wushuang kept the elixirs because he was selfish and wanted to keep the 3 elixirs to himself. However, no one knew Jian Wushuang's real intentions. He did trust Celestial Master Green Wolf, and he was not selfish at all. The truth was that, compared to Celestial Master Green Wolf, the elixirs would be safer with him. Chapter 1122, Jian Wushuang's Madness. Chapter 1122, Jian Wushuang's Madness. Celestial Master Green Wolf is in exceptional realm and wears a protective armor. He is indeed strong in defense. However, I'm covered in blood-killing plate armor and cultivate golden image secret skill. Moreover, I have a strong body. In terms of defense, I'm better than him. His eyes flashed with excitement. When it came to surviving, Jian Wushuang believed that he was the best present. Compared to Celestial Master Green Wolf, the elixirs would definitely be safer with him. Prepare to die, Jian Wushuang. The strong elder shouted as his heavy sword became as gigantic as a mountain that charged at Jian Wushuang. Humph! The middle-aged man bearing a thunder-like mark on his forehead snorted as he brandished his giant axe at Jian Wushuang. Besides, the 3rd Celestial Master in Exceptional Realm the Gene Kingdom sent also arrived. He charged at Jian Wushuang directly. Damn! Celestial Master Green Wolf's expression changed dramatically. He glared at Jian Wushuang as he warded off the 3rd Celestial Master in Exceptional Realm. However, he could only stop one of them. There were still 2 more Celestial Masters in Exceptional Realm and a few advanced Celestial Masters that had targeted Jian Wushuang. Come and try me. Jian Wushuang's eyes flashed with immense battle intent. His blood mountain sword was shaking. Then, he struck quickly. Sword light flashing, Jian Wushuang single-handedly engaged the strong elder, the middle-aged man, and a few advanced Celestial Masters. The fight was intense. Bang! Bang! Clang! Boom! Thunderous sounds reverberated in the battlefield. At that time, Jian Wushuang released all the power in his body. His blood mountain sword was going full speed ahead. He had warded off the strikes from the strong elder and the middle-aged man with a thunder-like mark. On the other hand, the few advanced celestial masters charged directly at him. Humph! Jian Wushuang looked cold. A jolt went through his body, but he swiftly recovered. Kill! Kill him! He actually wants to fight us alone. He's digging his own grave. The several advanced celestial masters who surrounded Jian Wushuang were full of killing intents. Jian Wushuang was only fending off the two celestial masters and ignored them, which left them furious. All of a sudden, they struck again. The strong elder and the middle-aged man with a thunder-like mark moved as well. Two celestial masters in exceptional realm, along with a few advanced celestial masters, encircled Jian Wushuang. Bang! 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 Horrifying growls reverberated in the air. The thunder lasted for several seconds. The two celestial masters in exceptional realm and the advanced celestial masters had attacked Jian Wushuang 10 times, but it turned out that Die! An advanced celestial master screamed furiously and brandished his sword at Jian Wushuang. However, he just crouched. At the next moment, a beautifully sorrowful sword light glided over. What? The advanced celestial master widened his eyes. Never did he accept a blow from Jian Wushuang, who had been besieged by them for a long time. He actually had the strength to fight back. Moreover, his swordsmanship was formidable and swift as usual. The celestial master was penetrated in the throat before he was able to dodge. His corpse fell to the ground. Get lost, all of you! Jian Wushuang shouted, and again he brandished Blood Mountain sword. This time, he used Heaven's Bane to sweep his opponents. The advanced celestial masters who had surrounded Jian Wushuang all withdrew. When they had retreated to a safe place, they stopped to stare at the scarlet-robed youth carrying a long sword. All of them looked disheartened. Two celestial masters in exceptional realm and several advanced celestial masters joined to besiege him. It turned out he actually killed one of us. The strong elder widened his eyes with disbelief. He, Jian Wushuang, Green Wolf, was fighting another celestial master in exceptional realm. At the sight of this, he was shocked as well. If he had been besieged like that, he would have been badly injured. He would never dream of killing one of the opponents. But now... Go on. Jin Kingdom bastards, go on. I'd love to see who die first. Jian Wushuang fixed his cold eyes on them, and his provocation left everyone present in fear. The strong elder and the middle-aged man with a thunder-like mark both looked terrible. However, at this time, prepare to die, Jian Wushuang. With a shout, a frosty bald teenager strode toward Jian Wushuang, carrying his golden machete. Immediately, the bald teenager clenched his gold machete with both hands. Power surged from him. Behind him, a golden dragon spectral image emerged. With overwhelmingly strong power, he struck out. Dragon Slayer. The bald teenager looked vicious. The moment he brandished the machete, terrifying strong power gathered and rushed to Jian Wushuang. Damn! It's Jin Yi. Celestial Master Jin Yi from the Jin Kingdom, he's among the top 3 even in Celestial Masters in exceptional realm of the Jin Kingdom. Not even Celestial Master and can compare with him. Moreover, this is his best move, Dragon Slayer. Celestial Masters of Green Fire Palace were all shocked at the sight of this. Celestial Master Green Wolf furrowed his brows. Celestial Master Jin Yi has performed his best and famous strike. Even if Jian Wushuang fends it off, he'll be badly injured, Jian Wushuang. Boom! A surging golden saber shadow fell from the sky toward Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang felt majestic mountain power rushing to him. The strike was even more formidable than the combined forces of the strong elder, the middle-aged man with a cloud-like mark, and several advanced celestial masters. Nevertheless, Jian Wushuang never feared. Come on. Jian Wushuang gritted his teeth, his eyes flashing with madness. Ancient god power surrounded his blood mountain sword as he expanded his body to 3 meters high. His body took on a dark gold glow. Then, he brandished his sword. Chapter 1123, Helpless. Chapter 1123, Helpless. Bam! The mighty golden saber shadow and Jian Wushuang's all-out heaven's bane clashed. Generally, Jian Wushuang was able to beat ordinary celestial masters in exceptional realm. But celestial master Jin Yi was much stronger than that. As they clashed, Jian Wushuang's heaven's bane immediately collapsed. On the other hand, the golden saber shadow was only slightly weakened. Subsequently, Jin Yi brandished his machete one more time. At that moment, he had covered Jian Wushuang's entire body. Boom! The blade light sailed through the void and pushed Jian Wushuang under the ground. Did he die? Celestial Master Jin Yi observed the ground emotionlessly. Bang! A scarlet-robed figure surged from under the ground, stirring many gravels. He appeared in front of Jin Yi one more time. Jian Wushuang's scarlet robe rustled. His eyes were crimson and his killing intent had grown intenser. Like an immortal master, he stood in the void. Both Jin Kingdom and Green Fire Palace celestial masters were all stunned by the scene. What's going on? Impossible. That's absolutely impossible. Strong as the elder was, he and the middle-aged man with a cloud-like mark both find it unbelievable. His aura isn't impaired. A gasp escaped Celestial Master Jin Yi. Normally, Celestial Masters in Exceptional Realm were unable to fend off his best move. Celestial Master Green Wolf who mastered defense skills might fail to take the hit as well. But Jian Wushuang did. Moreover, he was not even blood-stained. His aura stayed the same. Even, Jian Wushuang was looking murderous now as if he would go to ant length to fight back. How was that possible? Swoosh! A female figure showed up in front of Jian Wushuang. They were Celestial Master An and Celestial Master Yin Tong who came to his rescue. Moreover, many formidable Celestial Masters appeared beside Jian Wushuang in a row to protect him. All Jin Kingdom experts looked helpless. Jian Wushuang, good move. Celestial Master An stared at Jian Wushuang in astonishment. She sounded appreciative. Green Fire Palace experts were all stunned and looked at Jian Wushuang in awe. And the power of Jian Wushuang justified their reverence for him. Jian Wushuang. Celestial Master Green Wolf caught up with Jian Wushuang. Sorry. I was trying to take the Nirvana elixirs. Fortunately, I didn't. Otherwise. It was true. If he took the Nirvana elixir, Celestial Master Jin Yi would be targeting him. However, he did not have the confidence to ward off Celestial Master Jin Yi's Dragon Slayer. Hearing Celestial Master Green Wolf, Jian Wushuang retracted his killing intent and nodded slightly. I think I'm better in terms of defense, otherwise, I would have passed them to you without a doubt. After all, we all come from Green Fire Palace. I won't be selfish and take all the elixirs. Sorry, I got you wrong. Celestial Master Green Wolf apologized. Many other Green Fire Palace experts also misunderstood him. They thought Jian Wushuang kept the elixirs because he was selfish and wanted to keep the 3 elixirs to himself. Well, now they knew he had a plan. Well, we'll stop here. Celestial Master An waved and said, of the 6 Nirvana elixirs, we get 4. That's really something. Other Green Fire Palace experts looked delighted as well. Between the present 2 sides, Green Fire Place had an advantage. They thought 3 elixirs would suffice. At present, 4 Nirvana elixirs had greatly exceeded expectations. Of course, Jian Wushuang contributed a lot to their achievement. On the contrary, the Jin Kingdom experts all looked gloomy. Many vicious eyes were fixed upon Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang, it's him again. In the fight of life elixirs, he killed nearly 20 of our celestial masters and obtained a lot of medicines. Now, because of him, we get only 2 elixirs. He's such a nuisance. Where does he come from? And why is his aura only in Eternal Realm? The crowd complained and cursed. The 4 Jin Kingdom's celestial masters in Exceptional Realm all gathered and glared at Jian Wushuang, teeth gritted. They were unwilling to accept the result. They were at a disadvantage, and they should have gotten more life elixirs and nirvana elixirs. But because of Jian Wushuang, they did not get their share and lost more than they had expected. Nevertheless, no matter how furious and resentful they felt, they could only watch. After all, they could not touch Jian Wushuang. Although he had been besieged, he survived and even remained his strong aura. Now that Celestial Master An, Celestial Master Yin Tong, Celestial Master Green Wolf had joined forces with him, they were less likely to kill Jian Wushuang. At this moment, Celestial Master Jin Yi discovered something, and then he became elated. At the next moment, swoosh! Wind-breaking sound rang. A ghost-like figure in a black robe appeared on the battlefield out of nowhere. Seeing the figure, all Jin Kingdom experts looked delightfully surprised and bowed in respect. Heaven's Shadow King! Heaven's Shadow King! Their greetings resounded over the sky. Green Fire Palace experts all looked stunned at the sight of this. Bad luck, it's Heaven's Shadow King of the 9 kings of the Jin Kingdom. This looks bad. He's an expert who can compare to our 5 palace masters. Heaven's Shadow King actually came. All Green Fire Palace celestial masters were terrified. Even Celestial Master An, Celestial Master Yin Tong, and Celestial Master Green Wolf flustered. Inside Jian Wushuang, Gu Qing's voice cracked as well at the sight of the figure. A Universe Master. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.